All right, good evening. Welcome back, everybody, for event number 18. Twink, normal, Izaro, kill. Twinked with Blade, Vortex, and a Tabula. Sponsored by CuteDog. Although, not many players are using CuteDog's Tabula. Hey, CuteDog. Hey, Nugi. How's it going?
Hey. I think CuteDog might be out of commission right now. Been trying to get hold of him.
CuteDog is having some mic issues. I'm not sure if he can hear us right now. I will take his place until he solves that. Hopefully we can start those technical difficulties. So I actually want to ask CuteDog if he's been reformed from his last race, because there were some comments that he was a bit too harsh to women and he was not respecting women, which is one of his personal accomplishments. Is he has never once disrespected women.
Well, I wish I could answer that.
That is a very deep question that is intended for CuteDog. I am kind of picking your brains here.
Though, I will say I've been in contact with CuteDog, and I think we're gonna have a nice and respectful commentary.
I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully he can fix his technical issues soon. I will fill in. Man, my voice is almost gone. I've been commentating all day, introducing, outroing. Man, I'm a sore throat, but hopefully we can get him in here before my throat just gives up on me. Man,
he was here right before, so just give it a minute and he should probably be right back. But yeah, you have been commentating a lot.
Yeah, that was a really fun event. That was a crazy event, man. You have some energy for this one?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm a little short on energy. It's been some rough few days on the sleep. But I don't know, feeling kind of pumped after winning, and then just made my coffee, so I'm good to go.
Nice, nice, nice. I drank a coffee just before your event too to make sure I was on point for my commentating game. Exactly. We just started a poll on who will win: Asuzara, Cooterz, Lara, or Ilerica. The race has started. Who do you think is going to win this?
Who do I think? So I've been in contact with some of these players, and we also know that Lara has participated in previous events. And I'll say her progression from the first one to the second one, at least the last one, has been quite substantial. So if I had to put my money, I don't know, maybe Lara, but Ilerica has been practicing hard, and Asuzara has been getting some rise tips. So I don't know. It can go right now. It's between the three. I would say maybe Lara and Ilerica are probably my favorites, and then Cooterz. Haven't had a chance to really check her racing strats out, but she could be the
Sleeper OP, maybe?
The underdog. Yeah, I think so.
I haven't seen her practice. I think she was practicing a bit earlier today, but I wasn't able to watch in depth. I think she's had very many high-level characters, so she's definitely an experienced PoE veteran. Definitely has a lot of knowledge coming into this race. Will know a lot of inner details, so I think she might actually be able to pull it out.
Yeah, no, I think so too, for sure. Let's see here. So we have them all in town, prepared and everything. Hopefully none of them make the mistake of buying some extra currency or buying some extra things from their stashes, but I think they're gonna be fine. Cooterz being the first, and we have Ilerica as well, both in the.
Ilerica's actually muling. I talked to her before the event. She was a bit stressed out, but eventually we just went over some strategies, and I think she's going for a witch and muling and onslaught.
She did design the witch.
Yes, so she's going for the MOM strategy. Hopefully she has a good race.
I think the two strategies people have been looking into, well, there's been three. There's the choice with the physical damage of Shadow. Shadow thematically seems like the choice for Blade Vortex. Whether or not it's the best choice, that's something.
I think I hear CuteDog in the background.
I think so too.
CuteDog, hello?
CuteDog? Do we have the dog in the house?
I heard CuteDog's mom in the background, but I don't hear CuteDog himself. Maybe he's having someone sub in for him. Maybe he's also caught a cold. Could be the case. Looks like all players have equipped their tabulas.
Yeah.
Except for Ilerica, actually. She has not equipped it yet.
Oh, we have Lara down there with 4 different skills: Viper Strike, Freeze Pull, Spark, and Fire Trap.
Interesting.
Let's take a look here.
Ooh,
Yo.
Welcome back. We can hear you. Welcome
I had to
back.
restart my computer. Sorry about that, guys. My bad. It was working like 2 minutes ago when I was talking to Nugiyen, and then just like Okay, we're back. Let me load this up.
It's all good. Technical issues happening.
Asuzara top left, Cooterz top right, Declar top left or bottom left, and Ilerica bottom right. Is that correct?
That is correct. I'll be getting you account names in a second for the watcher, and
I already got all that.
Right, good.
How did they all find tabulas before the?
It's crazy.
Before Hellrake? That is insane.
So if you don't know, this race is actually sponsored by yourself. However, only Lara opted to take your tabula. The rest of the players said, you know what? I don't want CuteDog's tabula. No way. And they took their own tabulas instead.
Well, I can tell you this though, that I actually provided the tabula for Asuzara at least. I know Cooterz brought her own, but yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Maybe they saw me lose a race before and they did not want the bad RNG.
Yeah.
It's all right though. We'll keep a positive mental attitude here. And it looks like Asuzara is already in the mud flats. So did she? I missed it. Did she already get her Quicksilver?
No, she opted to not get the Quicksilver.
Wow. That's interesting.
She's following the strategy of Rise QT. Also, why you're seeing her using Cleaver here with everyone else being a caster. She's been practicing all morning with his help, and yeah, I think they've come up with a pretty solid strategy. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to pay off and whether or not the decision of not getting the Quicksilver immediately.
We have a very heavily loaded inventory by Cooterz here. She spent a few extra seconds putting that medicine chest in there. Usually, it fits right in, but this time it looks like sometimes just click too many items and now she's selling it. Hopefully those wisdom scrolls will pay off later on.
Oh, getting a good one, I see.
Oh, Declar dropping low down to 20% to some Roas. Now, what's your strategy on this? Do you kill the Roas before popping the Enrage on the nest, or do you not really care? Do you skip those and just pick up the glyph?
I think I go for the nest immediately because then they all surround me and you just kind of pop them. And I think that's just easier. If you try and pick them apart before you go in, sometimes you get a straggler and that's kind of annoying. So I just go for the chest, pick the thing. If they're around me, I kill them. Yeah.
Got it. Someone's telling me my mic is cutting in and out. Maybe is that true? Let me take a look here. Do I sound okay, Nugi?
You come through to me just fine.
Okay, fantastic. So it looks like now we see that the other people are catching up, and Asuzara is actually going back to the Tidal Island now. She's going to pick up her Quicksilver. So she's doing like a little reverse Quicksilver action here. What do you think about that? Is that she was practicing with Raise QT? I was seeing him build out her skill tree, giving her some pro tips from the racing god himself.
Well, one could say that if you get an extra level, you get a little bit more power, a little bit more health. You get to town one more time, maybe get some extra gear, and that might help you out on the Tidal Island kill, the Hellrake kill. Hellrake is for a lot of inexperienced racers can be very tough and can very easily lead to a death. So maybe delaying that a little bit to make it super safe might have been her choice.
Maybe she's only dropping down to she's dropping pretty low down to 30%, but she's got the health flask, and now it's only Hellrake fighting her and a zombie. She picks up the medicine chest, no problem. Small mana flask as well. She's kind of deciding a little bit between which of these items to pick up. You think she's going to use a logout method? Let's take a look to see if she. She's picking up a lot of items here. Is she going to do? And there we go. So no TPs used. Goes back directly into town.
I did hear her earlier talking to Rise whether or not, and she was not too happy with the prospect of having to use a macro. She did definitely not appreciate or think that was an ethical strategy, one could say.
I may have heard that as well, trouble in paradise between those two. And I have to say that I don't use one just because I feel like the clicking the log out and then spamming the enter key might be enough, but I'm not a pro racer. And in this event, it's more of the amateur event. I think it won't make too much of a difference in the long run.
No, I don't think so either. I think I think what we're gonna see here is whether or not they are going to stick to their strategy. So they all have conceived a strategy before going into this race, and they are all. So what I've seen in previous races is that they start to panic at some point, or start to stress out, and they start skipping things they didn't want to, and they don't get the gems that they want at the times that they're planned out. So I'm hoping to see them just keeping their cool, sticking to the plan, and then it should be a piece of cake, really.
Yeah, and we see Declara out in front here. She's running around on the ledge. You know, look how fast she hit that Quicksilver Flask. No MTX. I think she's completely focused this time. Out of these 4 players, I think she has the most experience with racing. She's done quite a few of these community events. Do you think that's going to help her out a lot in this race?
I definitely think so. I think she's gotten a bit more thick-skinned by having participating in a lot of these, and I think that's definitely going to pay off. Also, just getting some of the early strategy down. One of the key things to kind of learn the strategy and all the levels is actually just playing the game and racing, because you can't really know exactly where the good XP is, exactly how many monsters you have to kill, and it comes with experience. So definitely that's a big advantage.
And I see she's got a shiny new loot filter as well. A lot of colors, a very kawaii purple pink themed loot filter. So maybe she's getting she's using all the resources available to her, trying to get every little bit of advantage. We have Alerica. We can see the difference in clearing the ledge between Declara and Alerica, where Alerica sometimes opts to freezing pulse a few mobs, but then as they're closer, she runs away a little bit. So we'll see if that XP loss that she gets from not cleaning up, as to say, will hurt her in the long run. And then we have Asuzara making her way through the passage. She will hit the ledge right now. Cooterz making her way using the fire trap very efficiently. Fire trap, freeze pulse action, looking good. It's pretty dang close right now.
Yeah, and if we're looking at the skills right now, the only one you see with Spark, so if we're going for the casters, is Lara, and that is definitely showing more of a understanding of the early game for the current meta. I will say though, it might not do the greatest right here, as she is going purely through the physical damage nodes. So the power, the power she's getting early on is not as great, but she will have a huge power spike once she hits that 12 and swaps into Blade Vortex.
Definitely. I'm very excited to see them equip that Blade Vortex and see what they can do there. These racers, they have a different level of practice. I know Asuzara this morning, she actually made Raise QT a little bit late for our podcast because she was trying to get those last minute tips. I know that Declara was practicing a little bit as well, and some of the other streamers, Cooterz and Illyricus, they had it in their title that they were practicing for races. So I don't think anyone is going into it completely blind, which will make it a much more interesting race to watch.
Yeah, I don't know if I would. I think it's that much more interesting, or you mean that it is a lot more interesting because they have this practice?
Yes, correct. Like for example, if you go in there blind and you don't really care, for example, if you pull an Empyrean Gaming and you practice twice and hate life and have a negative mental attitude, you're still going to be able to finish the race. But it's definitely not as competitive. You know, for example, when our race, it came down to 30 seconds, and I think, you know, both of our teams, so to speak, practiced, and that was pretty nice. So with these 4 people, I think similar skill levels, it's going to be fantastic to watch. We have Declara expertly avoiding the Harbinger leap slammy packs from those goats. These wheelbarrow skeletons also very, very scary in terms of doing a lot of damage. So she chooses to skip those as well. Other 3 players are, looks like Asuzara is still in the ledge, but she's making...
Cooterz are taking some damage.
She's got a shield on. What do you think about that? Maybe a little extra defense, or maybe an auto equip.
It could be an auto equip. It could also be a conscious choice. It has been since 3.0. We do have buffed shields. We have the movement speed on the shields now, so you're not actually getting a movement speed penalty. It's negated on the first level shield. If you're getting the second tier of shield with the 6%, you're actually gaining movement speed by equipping a shield these days.
My goodness.
It's not a bad choice, and it definitely helps coming up to something like Brutus, where you can either block or evade, so you can face tank him even more.
That is a good point. I mean, do you think any of these players have trained their eyes to see these shields that might have a nice, juicy, implicit move speed?
Well, that depends entirely on the loot filter. Whether or not she has trained her eyes, I think it entirely depends on whether or not Neversink has trained his eyes for the...
Oh, okay, I see. So most of these players might be using the Neversink filter.
I definitely think that Cooterz is using that one from what I could spot.
That is a good point. And also, I've noticed that Asuzara is the only one right now who has 10% increased movement speed boost with cold resist as well. That is kind of a juicy item. Nice work, Asuzara.
And especially since this race that we are having right here is a Blade Vortex race, mobility is very key, as you're constantly doing damage around yourself. So you have to be able to both go in and out of danger very quickly. So that will definitely come in handy later on.
I will also be, as they get to areas with more dense mobs, I would like to see the effect of the loot filter. One time in my life, I chose to use Never Sinks filter, and I could barely see the mobs as the white items were cluttering the screen and overlaid on top of the mobs. So it provided a little bit of extra danger.
Oh, yes, for sure. It's something I've recognized with my own loot filter that I've been running with, having too big of a font size. And when you kill some of those bosses and they give you good drops, well, what ends up happening is that your entire screen is just one big patch of white or whatever else color you choose.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look pretty, but hey, sometimes if you maybe that one extra item that is there, that is shown, will help you win the race. Now we have Ilerica going through the trials, looking pretty, obviously no move speed boots, so might be taking some spike damage on the return. Oh, she chooses to go to this. Ooh, that is a nice item. Very nice filter. Very noticeable on the filter. And yeah, as she goes back without the speed, without the safety of going to those little alcoves, she is taking 2 spikes, but of course she has those 2 juicy life flasks already, 2 large flasks already, as compared to all the other racers who only have 1 large flask.
We do have Lara as well with the 2 large life flasks.
Oh yes, now she has that as well. And Asuzara has the 2 small ones, but she is a little bit more behind, so there is still ample time to get those juicy flasks that allow you to face tank Brutus.
It's definitely something you do want to be aware about, and especially going into Brutus, like having those large life flasks it's a huge deal. She does have the totem though, so she can use that as a pseudo decoy totem and make Brutus tank that or hit that instead of her. So it's not as necessary as long as you have some kind of totem, and she is the only one amongst our 3 competitors with a totem right now.
And the who will win results have just come in. Declar taking a commanding lead in the polls at 54%. 72 people who voted said that Declar is going to finish first. And then the runner-up is 23% with 31 votes at Asuzara. Cooterz with 13% and Ilerica very close with 10% at 17 and 14 votes.
Interesting. Who is we did get your pick for the race. Who would you say is the favorite?
I think experience is so key. Even 1 or 2 full practice runs with a positive mental attitude will allow you to cut some time off the clock. And I think because Declar has the most experience, she is a shoo-in unless anything crazy happens. We have seen, chain deaths in the lab before from certain racers, and that could impact it. Now, remind me again, Nugi, what is the death penalty again in this race?
The death penalty in this race is 1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay.
It's not another well if you do like take one every now and then, but.
And we see something coming up here. Let's go ahead and look at Declar's screen. She is the first by a large margin. Go to Brutus, and she opens a portal for the safety. So she definitely she feels it
as well.
If look at going to the wall.
Yeah, but not only that, if you're not actually tagging him with anything, you're not throwing out any skills, you're not hitting him, he will not throw any attacks back at you, and he will follow you straight into the wall.
Wow, that is a pro tip. She has learned a lot. She's already a better racer than me. She's going down 20% though, and no life flask. She has the mana flask, so she can slowly DPS him down. She chooses to go back to town for the safety. That's 1 portal scroll down. Let's see if she opens up an inventory and goes for another portal. But she's making good. She's making a decent amount of damage, going very low. Skeletons coming out, and she portals again. So that's 2 portals used on Brutus, but she goes right back in. She's not phased. She's like, get out of my way. I need my upcoming pumpkin spice latte. And Brutus is now at 20% HP. She goes down to 20%. She goes down to 10%. Very, very low, but an instant large life flash. You can see how much life that actually heals. That's incredible.
Yeah, that is really great. And having the 2 large life flasks, giving her 6 total charges, means that she can tank for a good half minute. That's definitely I do like the fact that she did portal out twice to reset her potions. One thing that is one thing definitely here, if you are going low on your potion charges, instead of running around trying to get the charges back from the minions, it is much better utilizing some of that resources that is your portal scroll.
Yep, and let's look at Alerica now on Brutus, and same with Cooterz. Can we get a side-by-side of Alerica and Cooterz? They're both tagging Brutus. It's a little bit of spark action, a little bit of freezing pulse action. Alerica is being a little bit more cautious, evading the traps and the Scorpion get over here before it even has a chance to make contact with her. Cooterz is avoiding them as well, but she's using more of a fire trap strategy, kiting him around.
Yeah, with the Nugiyen on the ground there.
Very, very nice. Oh, and Alerica goes down. That is one death, but it's not a big deal. She goes back in right away, clicking that door as soon as she spawns. So maybe it has not phased her at all, and she is taking him down to 30% HP. But that is doing a lot of damage to her for some reason. Every little hit is about 50% damage.
Yeah, if you don't have any core rings, any other life rolls on your gear, your life pool is going to be very, very low here, because in a race, you are facing all these encounters at a lower level than you would normally do through a playthrough. So it is definitely a lot more dangerous, and 2 big hits will take you down. Yep,
I think we saw that when we saw Declar do it. She had a coral ring, which is a massive percentage of your total life, and then now we have Cooterz has taken down Brutus with ease. Picking up some items. Her inventory it looks like it's a little bit full again, so she's not gonna be able to pick up all these transmute shards. And another kill of Brutus will be coming up in a few seconds here from Alerica. That first death didn't really phase her. Avoiding everything from here on out, playing it very safe, just frost pulsing him down. She's getting hit a little bit by the traps falling from the sky, going down to half life, but I don't think she's gonna die again. And Brutus goes down, and let's see if she logs out here to save herself precious seconds.
A lot of boots there. There's a good potential for maybe a pair move speed.
She looks a little bit distressed. Hand on the forehead. Maybe she's sweating. You know, I think like 1 death, as you said, 1 minute is not anything to worry too much about. It's only when you start stacking deaths and resetting Izaro instances that you really need to be worried.
Yes, I definitely agree with. Oh, and no, that was rarity. That was not movement speed. Too bad. I do think that she really wants to do well. I talked to her earlier, and so she's probably a little bit upset that she did take that death, as she was doing it fairly smoothly, and she is very prepared here with the double life flash. So a bit unfortunate. I mean,
as someone who's died to Hillrake in a race scenario, it is very demoralizing. What we gotta do is you gotta pick yourself back up, and you have to continue with the race.
Yes, exactly. She does immediately get a Brutus Shrine. A very strong pickup.
I believe it's 50%. Yeah, 50% damage. A little bit of knockback action. So that'll help maybe boost her up. Maybe she can get some extra XP that'll help her later on. She can get some bundled packs. And now we have Asuzara. She's following the blood trail. Let's hope she doesn't get lost like I did, and she will be.
She did get lost, going the wrong way right there. But then finds her back immediately after.
There we go. Looking at her items, she has 2 small life flasks, Nugi. This is going to be very dangerous for her, I think.
Well, as long as she can make sure to just abuse the totem here, then she will be just fine. As long as she doesn't stand in front of him when he slams, then shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so he's following.
Instant! What was that? A leap slam from Brutus? How did he get? Was that Chevron resurrected Brutus? That was insane. I expected a blue ground slam coming out there with the speed that he had.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. Look, her facial expression has not changed at all. Brutus is at 80% HP. That totem is doing some work as well. She avoids the second slam, going down to half health once again. Those life flasks, you can really see they are not filling up the life fast enough to face tank. Maybe she will opt for a DPS race here because he is at 10%. Avoids the second slam, and she gets it right as another hit would have killed her.
She does have one of the better setups, I would say, amongst all the contestants here. With I believe it's a falling, both single target and totem. So she definitely puts out by far the most damage. She was following the advice of Rise as well, that I talked to, or I saw them practice earlier, where the trick was to get into the corner and then using the multi-strike off the wall to bounce them back and then generating even more DPS.
That is some pro strats from Raze QT. How much do you think Raze's expert god tier racing advice will help a new player, though? There's always information overload. That's what I've found. I try to ask this when I'm trying to learn. I try to ask as few questions as possible. And hearing their conversation from earlier on stream, she was asking a lot of questions, and Raze was giving out a lot of information as well.
Definitely trying to help where he can. I will say maybe a little bit of detriment in that fight right there, as dragging him down and then face tanking him in such a small area means that you have less space to walk around him. So if you're not comfortable, it might actually put you in harm's way, which is also why I think she ended up dying.
And now we can see that from the contestants, we have Declara way in front. Two players on the right side are in the ship graveyard, and they are looking for the Merveil cavern. But Declara is chugging along, choo-choo, on her way to Merveil. And it looks like she has a little bit of cold resist on her boots, so that'll help her, stand there and do some damages without worrying too much about her health. Asuzara making her way to the ship graveyard. She's got, she's got an iron ring. So Illyrica and Asuzara are both with iron rings. It would really be nice to pick up some coral rings, maybe a sapphire ring here and there. Cooterz has a coral ring, and she has the ES belt, so not looking too shabby there as well. I'm very excited to see this upcoming Merveil fight. And then also I want to see in these close quarters if we get any Harbinger action, because that charged up Kamehameha Harbinger with the blue orb, that is very deadly in these corridors.
Oh, definitely very deadly. Even the best tier of racers often end up meeting their demise to the Harbingers, in especially Caverns, because there's not many ways you can really get around them. And if you're not playing a leap stam character, you can't just sleep over, and you kind of have to just go through. Oh, we had Asuzara going against the fire dog. I always forget the name. It's a very dangerous enemy, and especially if you haven't upgraded your potions at this point, you cannot out heal it. It will simply just kill you if it keeps hitting you.
That is unfortunate that the potions are still on the minimum level there, but RNG is RNG. Maybe the loot filter didn't. Maybe just none of them dropped. Who knows? Maybe she hasn't had time to check the vendor, but at this point she should have enough money to go back to Nessa and buy herself some better potions. Yeah, she's getting a lot of damage, a little storm call action coming out, but she's dodging those leap stem goats. From my fights with Chimera, they are extremely scary. Look at this, she's gonna avoid, see, half health per hit from that fire dog, but
she does have a quicksilver this time, so she can just outrun it here.
Yep,
put down the totem, maybe bait it away.
It looks like Cooterz has a bear trap strategy going on. I don't know if that's just there because, or if she plans to use it for some interesting meta choices.
I think it might have been just a quest reward that she otherwise did not really know what to do with. So she opted to go, well, let's just take the bear trap, maybe get a little bit more damage here and there, maybe trap them, get a better position. Yeah, that's pretty good. We have Declara killing some blue mobs. Also are making her way through the tunnels, and then we have Illyrica also chugging along. So now we have three players kind of in the same instance. We're going to full screen to Declara now. Yes. And we are going to begin a fight. She has 2 more portal scrolls, so if things go iffy for her with her 2 life flasks, she can always portal out, come back in, and reset the fight essentially. And here we go. Ooh, eating all the fishy spears to the face, and the animate weapons have her cornered, but she has popped all her life flasks. We gotta watch out for some fat fingering here. It's very easy in these situations to hit all your flasks multiple times when really this healing rate is the same. I will say though, it's fairly lucky that she kept being low on life, as I do believe that if you do not exceed all the life that your potion provides you, the next charges you've spammed will just be stacking up afterwards.
Yep. Yeah, it will definitely help as long as you are taking damage there. But sometimes in the lab, it's still the best choice to be as conservative as possible and to know exactly how much a life that's going to heal you. Now, Merveil's at 40%, teleporting around. Declara expertly avoiding the fishy spears and the Whispering Ice Barrage going on for Merveil. The anime weapons seem to be doing more damage than Merveil herself, and she learns how to position herself.
One strategy they could have been using here is maybe a level to 12 and then coming in with the Blade Vortex, as Blade Vortex is a massive increase in damage, and especially with Lara's build here with such an investment into early physical damage.
Yeah, we see that Lara is going to take down Merveil to phase 2, no problem, avoiding everything. You can tell that she's practiced this before. She levels up, goes to the skill tree. Look at that instant assignment in between Merveil phases.
She definitely knows where to go.
Yeah, she has done this before, Nugi. I don't know, you've been playing a lot of co-op, a little bit of Divinity Original Sin. Have you guys been talking in your off time about the racing strats, a little bit about PoE?
Yeah, we had, she has been asking me for a few tips here and there on PoE. And I will say this, I know that she practices a lot, and she definitely does have a plan and a good idea of what to do. One of the issues I would say is that she starts maybe going a little bit too fast and starting to go away from her strategy. So my tip was pretty much stick to your plan and just don't divert.
Maybe we can get a side-by-side of Ilerica and Declara here. What's happening is they're both at Merveil, and also Cooterz is at Merveil, getting Merveil to like 60% now. So we have 3 people on the exact same fight. This is very exciting. We can easily see who has like the most DPS, who is most efficiently positioning themselves to do the most damage to Merveil. We have phase 2 from Declara. She's going to go to the Southern Forest in a few seconds here. So great job there. She still has life flask to spare. She's standing in the little water cyclone, but I guess she's going for a DPS race. She gets the goat hide boots.
She just wants to get Merveil down.
And she is, so maybe now a side-by-side of Ilerica and Cooterz. Cooterz is going to be going to phase 2. No problems with the damages. Hasn't dropped low. That shield may be helping a little bit. Ilerica is a little bit more running around than DPS, but avoiding the fish spears and playing it super safe. You can see a blue Harby tiger on the ground for Ilerica. And after examining a lot of race VODs, I think actually pets and things like that are a little bit detrimental. I can't tell you how many times when I've been mapping and my Harbinger confuses me with my Tempest binding helm. I think it's an actual Harbinger, and I stay around a little bit. I get a little bit scared. So we'll see how that plays out in the end as well.
Yeah, the choice of pet definitely could be a detriment. I chose in my previous race to go with the hedgehog. And it definitely calmed me down at times where I thought, I'm not doing too well. I'm panicking a little bit. I looked down and there it is, just looking back at me. And it was
a little emotional sport.
Yeah, for sure.
That's very nice. And now we have phase 2 from Cooterz going to go down very easily. She's never been in any danger this fight of dropping a very tenured PoE player here. Probably with I would say Cooterz is the one with the most PoE experience overall, disregarding racing.
I think I would say so. Yeah, I've seen Ilerica do a lot of high-level play. I think both of these players have done a lot of end-game content, so bossing should be one of their fortes.
Yep, and you can see she's the only one there with the green screen, so experienced as a streamer as well. We'll see if she can block out the chat. I think not reading chat and blocking out the negative mental attitude that sometimes comes in Twitch chat during these race events will be very important. You know, part of this is a mechanical game. You got to be good at racing, but you also have to be pretty good at the mental aspect to push yourself to try your hardest, even if even if your chat is feeding you information, you might be in last place, third place, things like that. So we have we have a phase 2 Merveil kill coming out from Ilerica. Yeah, once again, none of these ladies are in any danger of dying to this boss. So well done there. She picks up some rares, some blues, and she's going to go in Southern Forest. And now the only
and
person...
she got the Quartz Scepter. Ooh. If you noted that, a rare one as well. Sadly, though, normally in a race with a caster, you would go with some kind of elemental skill, where the Quartz Scepter is pretty much the best scepters. Again, it's 20% elemental damage, and it's very high. Yes,
that's like almost 2 skill points.
That is definitely almost 2 skill points. And then, sadly, in this race, we are faced with a choice of Blade Vortex, which is a physical spell. So it does very little. Unless you do Fist of Lightning, where you convert, or you do some added elemental damage, then that could also be buffed by the elemental damage. But otherwise, you would rather be running around with wands, which is also what you're seeing her using right now.
Yeah, these race strats are pretty crazy. I'm very interested. We have Asuzara, the last one to Merveil, but she's taking her down. That DPS is not bad. Do you see that? That is some good fizz DPS there, or that is some good attack-based DPS there. The totem and her swinging away, and she will be going to face. She goes very low to 10% to some anime weapons and the auto attacks of Merveil, but she pushes her life flash. She now has a large one, and we will see a phase 2 coming up from her. Now, one thing to note is Havoc let me know that Raze was telling her to go attack base until Blade Vortex.
Yes.
Do you think that might have been a mistake, seeing that she is slightly behind, and she goes down 10% again to the water geyser?
I definitely think that is a mistake, especially as a new player. Attack-based characters does require more inventory management. It does require you to update your gear a lot more frequent, especially in the early game. You need 2 iron rings, rustic sash. You need to upgrade weapons twice, and especially when you're a new player and maybe you don't have the best of filters. That will end up taking a lot of your time and running around and searching instead of just having it to once and then putting in all the skills and supports for the spell. You are gonna swap to a spell eventually anyways, so there's gonna be a lot of swapping in and out here now, which is probably one of the reasons why she's a little bit behind.
We see a little bit of inventory management from Asuzara. The other 3 players, they are in Act 2, and they're making their way, taking some bandit rewards or choosing which ones. And then
15 movement speed.
Who just got that?
Yeah, Asuzara, just 15 movement speed on a pair of on a good base as well. The evasion base, somewhat of a high level. I think it's around level 12, the goat hide here, which is probably one of the best spaces, as you are running into packs of monsters all the time, and having some high evasion means that you will. It's very consistent with the damage mitigation, as let's say 10 monsters hit or try to hit you, and only 5 of them ends up actually hitting you. So making you very tanky for a playstyle that requires you to be tanky.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's let's see if it pays off to her. She's spending a lot of time killing these monkeys. She gets a level up. Do you think she's spending too much time killing these rares? Would you have skipped these and gone straight to the town and just focus on bigger packs?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, for sure. Skipping the rares is probably the best choice here, especially when you're running a build like she is, that is very low on the damage early on. You simply will not have the output to, even with the Tabula, I think you're a little bit low on the damage. So yeah, skipping the rares and picking up the blues and the whites, and that would be my strategy.
And let's take a look at the bottom left of the screen here. She's making her way into the chambers, and she is going pretty speedy. Is she equipping is she level 12 now? Is she able to equip the Blade Vortex? Because I saw her freeze pulsing a few seconds ago.
Yes, I think she is.
There we go. And it comes out green Blade Vortex. I wonder if she's going to go with the red demonic Blade Vortex MTX for a little bit of intimidation factor. Cooterz making her way to the Fell Shrine ruins. It looks like she might be picking up the trials as she goes, not bothering to go back at later levels. We'll see if that pays off. Ilerica in Act 2 along with Asuzara. This is exciting. So the first player to actually use the rules of the race, the Blade Vortex action, is Clara. Very exciting to see.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting here in the Chamber of Sins, as there is a very dangerous boss coming up, and putting yourself in melee range against Fiddleitis, who can kill you in pretty much 2 hits. I would say that if you're going to face tank here, you would definitely look to upgrade your either have a decoy totem or upgrade into greater life flasks.
Yeah, we'll see if she chooses to do that. I don't see any lightning resist currently on her gear, but who knows? Maybe the Tabula, she currently has on her Tabula, looks like it might not be updated. What are the links do you think she will go with here?
The links you would go with, I think she is going to pick up the Control Destruction. Let's see, what else would you pick on there or put on there? I think you would pick up the faster casting Control Destruction. And then for damage, you would probably swap in something like Conk Effect. I think those are probably the go-to.
A little bit higher level gems. I think she just hit level 12, but maybe at 16 she can put on a Herald or something like that. And later on, maybe, do you think she'll get to Hatred for a little extra boost to elemental damage?
Being on the Shadow, I would think Hatred is the good choice. Yeah, the right choice. And then opting for either Arctic Armor or for maybe the Herald, I would say is probably the better choice with the percent into fire of the physical damage. Yeah, I think she will. I think she recognizes that she needs to prepare and get a lot of damage before Izaro, as he is very tough in this phase.
We have Cooterz that has just finished a trial easily, no scares within 10% of her life or anything like that. We have Ilerica also going through the trial, and it's important to note that everyone but Asuzara has their Blade Vortex equipped. I see the spitting blades coming out from all of their characters, and they are ready to begin the real race, as I'll call it, with this skill. Asuzara, I don't know what level she is right now. She's in Western Forest.
Yes, and she must still be 11, because otherwise she would have been equipping the Blade Vortex. A little bit of a mistake here. Progressing that far at this level puts you at a XP penalty, so it makes it even harder to get some of those levels. But it's very close to 12, so she should be okay for now.
Definitely. If she keeps a positive mental attitude, we should be able to see her with these 15% movement speed make up some time, and especially if she focuses in the lab, that can be some time as well. Now we have Cooterz making expert use of her flame dash and going up those hills, not wasting extra seconds contouring around. We have a Fidelitas flight coming out from Clara, and exactly what you were talking about. The Blade Vortex, it is melee. It is essentially
essentially
a melee skill.
Oh no, go on. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, Twink is taking so much damage, but Fidelity is also taking so much damage.
Yes.
So I feel like in this race, Nugi, we're going to see so many DPS races. It's going to be a battle in their mind of, should I just stand here and just instantly kill the boss with the chance of me instantly dying as well? Or do I run around a little bit more and see what happens? So that is going to be an exciting thing to watch with a lot of these boss fights and with Izaro.
Definitely. Also, Lara actually having the 15% movement speed every single race, or I believe every player except for Cooterz with the 15% movement speed, which is kind of a rare find, I would say. In general, you would be very lucky at this point to have 15%.
That is insane that all these players have gotten good RNG. Fidelity's skill just came out from Alerica. She was actually faring a little bit better than Declar in terms of the tankiness. Maybe it was positioning, because Lightning Strike, as we know, it's not something that we would probably play. There's certain issues with it. So maybe she outsmarted Fidelitas, and now she's on her way to the Fellshrine Ruins, picking up another trial. I know for a fact that she has at least one trial completed. And we have Cooterz going in. As you can see, like the melee range is extremely scary here, because you're at a risk of getting booty blasted by many ranged mobs at once. There could be stuff on the ground that you have to stay within to do your damage. So it is definitely a spooky playstyle. And as you said earlier, these gems are not 20% quality, so we're not getting any kind of AoE.
No, we're definitely not. Some of the choices here with the witch choice, you could get some AoE. But apart from that, no, they're going to have very limited AoE. So they are going to be tanking most of the things. I will say with the Cooterz choice here, the shield coming very in handy. I actually think in a race like this where you do have the 6-link, which allows you to push out a lot of damage that you normally wouldn't be able to, because you get to link your gems so many times, opting for some more defense so you can stay in the fight for longer, right? Getting your potions ready, getting your resist ready, and the shield for the block and the evasion might actually end up being the right choice for this style of race.
Of course. And now we see Asuzara. She has equipped her Blade Vortex. Those blades are spitting out. She's doing some real damage now. Let's see if she can catch up. As you can see, she is focused. No distractions. There's going to be no kitty playtime during this stream as she makes her way towards, I believe, either Alira or the Weaver. She's taking so much damage from the kamikaze cannibals there. Jeez. Falling very low, but they all have Flame Dash. They do have an escape mechanism. They have a way to manage their way through the tunnels, skipping possible Harbinger maps and Harbinger mobs and other monsters that could be scary, blocking their way. We have Cooterz picking up, falling to half health there, but she's all right. She's already at the plaque. A lot of this race is going to be tracking, because as you can see, they've all already gotten all 6 trials. They have to remember in their minds, and maybe their chat will help them, which ones have I not gotten.
Yes, and it's definitely important to remember this, because there's nothing worse than having to go back, and especially if you forget to pick one of the earlier trials and then you have to go back. Because one of the things that to keep your momentum and to keep your XP going is to go at the trials at the right levels. So it's definitely very important to keep track of that.
We can see Alerica getting a ton of follows for her skilled lab trial gameplay here. A little bit of backtracking, but it's all right. She's in no danger of dying to the spinny spike traps, using Flame Dash effectively as well, and she will be picking up a new lab trial here. Cooterz in the top. It looks like she is just making her way towards the quest boss, choosing to kill a rogue exile, as they can drop a lot of items. Oh, not that many rares, unfortunately.
That is unfortunate. Even if she got a lot of rares, though, I do think that she would benefit a lot right now from starting to manage her inventory a little bit better. You really, in a race, need to decide, am I going to use this ever or not? And just either ID it, use it, or get rid of it.
Gotcha. How many pit stops would you say that you make during a race to sell off those items? Or do you just try to drop them if you don't use them at all?
Well, in general, you're just looking for, you're looking to fill your inventory as much as possible with good things, with rares, with small items, with anything that can sell for the very important currency orbs, being transmutes, alterations, especially in this race, alterations, as they have a lot of gems that they can benefit from that all sell for alterations in Act 2. I would say in terms of how many times do you end up going back? Well, every time you end at a boss where there's no other exit, right? You enter the boss room, there is no other exit, but where you came from, well, then you would then go to town. And that happens quite a lot in Act 2. So you go here, as we see at Fidelitas. Now she's going to go back to town. A great time to maybe sell off all your items. Then she will be at Weaver, and then also as we have, well, in a race like this, you also have the Crypt, and you have Kraden, and you have Alira. So ample opportunity here to go back.
One thing is I see Cooterz glancing over to the left quite a bit. It looks like she might be interacting with the chat. So, I mean, that's losing a little bit of focus, but she is level 14 along with Declar and Alerica. All three of the players on the right side besides Asuzara are level 14. Asuzara on her Scion is currently level 12, but she is making quick work of the Weaver. Gets unlucky with an ad phase as the Weaver goes up into the ceiling, but she is in no danger of dying here.
You can't really at this point in the game, though, skip the phase. The Weaver will always go up, and there will always be a blue pack. I will say here, though, with Asuzara, I can see that she has already updated her potions at level 12, which is very good to see. As you go into that Blade Vortex, putting yourself in danger, it's very important, especially on like a Weaver fight. You do not want to have to move away.
Potion advantage definitely going to Asuzara. Declara still has a large one. It's taking a lot of damage from that spider. Look at that. My goodness. She chooses to go back to town. So using her portals really efficiently. I saw her do this in a Katava Act 10 fight where she was using very efficient use of portals in hardcore to avoid death. So maybe that muscle memory has helped her out. You can see the life last struggling to keep up with the damage. Let's see if maybe we can get enough damage to kill her before those life lasts run out. It's going down very quickly, down to 10%, and she's only going down to 40-50%.
And she's down.
She gets the spike. A little bit of inventory is cluttered, so she can pick up another
so I'm
rare.
holding to definitely seeing picking up the helmet here and then IDing it immediately and putting it on. This is what you kind of note with Lara, where this is the one thing I would say where she still needs some improvement, being the upgrading of gear. You can see she's only wearing one wand. There's no belt, and the helmet that she just picked up is a prime candidate for her head.
That is going to be nice. Also, just like you mentioned, Lara has a single wand. Alerica and Asuzara are both dual wielding wands, and the Cooterz has the wand plus shield. Also, a quick little update: Cooterz is the only one without the 15 move speed boots still. So we'll see if that affects her. It looks like, did she log out? Or, she killed the Caitlyn fight. So she has Caitlyn's amulet, it looks like. Yes, she does. Okay, for a second, I thought she logged out to avoid possible damages or death, but she just finished Caitlyn. And
it's just too fast.
I missed it. And then Alerica down here, she's looking pretty speedy with that Blade Vortex, really getting into the middle of mobs if she can to make efficient use and get that damage out to get the most XP per second possible.
And just as I mentioned that Lara needed to start updating her gear, she did actually put on the helmet and equip a new flask. So very good to see that she is aware where some of her some of the most important upgrades are.
Definitely, and she does have 2 core rings. We have Alerica with 2 sapphire rings. Not too much cold damage come out in Act 2, but still they have some other stats on them. And then we have Cooterz with 1 core ring. Actually, Asuzara and Cooterz with both with 1 core ring.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see them putting on at least another one again here. I am pretty surprised though by the level of attention to their gear. I saw earlier Asuzara has gotten a pair of lightning resist life gloves, and in general I'm seeing that they're all very aware of their gear. One thing that we've seen in a lot of amateur races is that they start rushing too much. But I think in general, both Rise, I know Havoc, I have talked to a lot of them previously, and giving them one of the tips being the like really focus on your gear. Like keep killing, keep focusing on the gear, don't rush too much. Is much more important than just trying to race and just get fast.
And here we go. Alerica is pre-casting the Blade Vortex as she pops the Weaver. Comes down a lot of damage from this Blade Vortex skill. This is pretty crazy. Getting the XP from the blue mobs. It's going to go into the ceiling pretty soon. She's going down to 50%, but that big life flask is really healing her up. As you were saying earlier about the tabulas, I think having a tabula really gets you in the the way of things to focus on the other pieces without worrying about your gem setup. A huge part of racing is how am I going to get the colors and the sockets and the links for my skills. But if you have a Tabula, that's a huge burden that's off your mind.
Yes, definitely true, and I think that it is very nice to see how they are just playing this a lot more comfortably, having that in mind. And you can really see, I'm not seeing anyone seem frustrated. Everyone just seems to be just really engaged and focused on the race at hand.
Mm-hmm. And now you can see, man, Declaw stacking up that life. She also has a leather belt with strength and a life roll as she hits the next ascendancy plaque here. And we have Cooterz killing a lot of mobs, getting a juicy amount of XP. That XP bar is flying. She has an unassigned skill point, but maybe she's just going too fast. She's like, I don't care. I'll assign that later. Maybe even opting to go for the way forward quest with this amount of damages and speed.
Yeah. Definitely picking up whatever opportunity you can to get some... Oh, okay. Decides to log out. Not really what she wanted to go for anyways.
Okay. Let's see. What happened there, by the way? Why did she
I think she was looking for... No, I think she was not actually going for the skill point. I believe she was instead trying to find a Lyra.
Ah, okay. There we go. Yeah, so, you know, I know there's a certain way you can look at the pathing to see which way is a Lyra, but, you know, I have never done it, and I sometimes blindly just choose one direction. If I hit Weaver, I'll go Weaver. If I hit a Lyra, I'll go Lyra. We have an Oak kill coming up. A lot of damage from Illyrica killing Oak so quickly. You know, the Immortal Call comes out, but it's not going to be enough, and she gets the amulet pretty easy. Doesn't matter. Full life flasks the whole way through, and now she's going to go get the waypoint. As I was just saying that, Cooterz takes down Lyra. Man, this spell is making quick work of these bosses. It's incredible.
It's very powerful. It's one of the highest DPS single target skills in the game. It's just the only downside is it has a limited AOE, limited potential to clear, and it puts you in harm's way. But if you can overcome those two downsides, well, then it's a very powerful skill, which is also why it's previously been very popular between many players.
Absolutely. And now that I'm noticing more and more, like none of these players, the top two and then Declara, they have not elected to use any MTX. It's only Illyrica that's put on the big chaos wings there. You know, the set doesn't really match. You know, if she's running upwards towards the screen, you can't really see, just see the wings, but if she runs downwards, you can see the fashion is a little bit like she logs out instantly after tagging Lyra there. Does she not mean to do that? She's going toward discipline and training. What was that? Did
she not help her?
Maybe she helped her. Okay, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure we had the discussion with some of these girls that helping Lyra is probably the correct choice here. Blade Vortex with that 6 link is a very high mana cost spell, so it's very hard to actually cast to the point where you can get 20. Because the more blades you can maintain, which is also costing you more mana, well, the more damage you end up doing. And then Lyra helps with that 5 mana per second. And not only that, but Lyra also gives you 15% resist. And coming into today's lab, we have Izaro with some, what are they called again? Conduits with the lightning, fire, and cold damage. So you definitely want to have that all resist.
That will be nice. Yeah, I don't expect anyone finding a gold rim during this race. So every little bit of resist you can squeak out might avoid the one shot from some of the monsters in there, including Izaro himself. Lyrica going very speedy. So it is confirmed. She is in the Vol Ruins now. She's going towards Vol Oversoul. She did pick up a Lyra. So that was my mistake there. Cooterz is spending a little bit of time in town. We have Asuzara picking up. She's going for an ascendancy trial, you know, making sure that she can do Izaro once she becomes the proper level. We have Declara. She's looking at Oak. Let's see if she decides to kill him as well. I believe she will, due to your reasoning of the Alira bandit reward being the most helpful for this race. Stacking up the Blade Vortex, hitting the kill button, and here we go. A lot of damage coming out. And actually not as much damage as some of the other players. It looks like maybe it's a tree, maybe it's a pathing. I saw one thing to note is that Illyrica on her character is very close to both Amplify and Blast Radius. So a lot of AoE she can get, and also a lot of health over on the Templar side there with Discipline Train, one of the best nodes in the game. So she's pretty tanky. But now Oak going down to 20%. A lot of ads shooting at her freely, but she does not care. All the pots were down, but as she kills Oak, all the pots are back up. She will be making her way to the waypoint.
So one thing I'm noticing here is Lara is still using, she still has the Spark and the Orb of Storms in her Tabula. So she's essentially only on a 4-link for the Blade Vortex. And one of those links being Onslaught and Lesser Poison. Lesser Poison not being that powerful. It's okay. She is a Shadow. She does get the Chaos notes. So it does help a little bit. But compared to something like Added Fire, and there are some other better choices, I think that's why we're seeing her not pushing out that much damage just yet.
Gotcha. I mean, she is making up for it in the life gear, maybe with lower damage. She has the survivability to stand there a little bit longer than some of the other players. Everyone has full equipment except for, it looks like Cooterz is missing a ring in her left slot. So hopefully she finds a coral ring, or maybe later on she'll find a 2-stone or something like that to help her out. But she really needs to pick up an extra one there. Other than that, everyone is fully geared out in their respective sockets.
Yeah, and that's very good to see. It really shows good preparation to know, and not getting stressed out, just keeping the focus on where it's supposed to be.
And look at this, Ilerica coming out, and she is in the northern forest already. She came out of nowhere, a bat out of hell. She's really going to avoid killing some of the harming packs and then moving on, never putting herself in any real danger. Maybe it's the MPS boosting up her positive mental attitude, but she is going to be going to Vault over. So I think she's going to be the first one there. If just by looking a glance value at the other 3 screens, she is doing amazing. Definitely not what I expected. She's a newer streamer. I know that she, in the past, she has taken some time off of PoE because of, you know, some boring leagues and things like that. So she is making a big splash here, returning to Harbinger League and this race.
For sure. All her preparation is definitely paying off here. I think her early game was not looking too good, but I will say committing to the plan of the later stages is definitely paying off. She did actually message me about the use of Contagion, as it's one of the utility skills. So her early game might have been thwarted just a little bit by the disallowance of using Contagion as your AoE skill early on.
Wow.
Which is why you only saw her using the Freezing Pulse. I mean, say,
what a classy lady to ask you, Nugiyen, if that was okay. I mean, look at that. The respect is unreal. A very high positive mental attitude. Everything's above board here. From Ilerica in the bottom right. Cooterz very speedy with that flash. She's still got the shield on, doing great. Asuzara is getting a little bit stuck in her decisions sometimes, but that's just because Ray's QT did tell me that she had no previous race experience. So a lot of this stuff, you know, when you're racing, when things come up, it can be quite a shock. And dealing with those things is what separates, you know, a great racer from an average one.
Yeah, definitely agree on that. With the amount of racing and seeing her performance right now, though, I am positively surprised. I think she's done really well so far. She's keeping up quite well. Like she's the same level as Lara, only 1 level behind Cooterz. And if she just keeps maintaining the focus on all the prep going into Izaro, everything can end. Like really, everything can change going into Izaro. If you're not completely prepared, a death can set you back 5 minutes easily. So it's anyone's race still.
Yep, it's level 16 from Declara and Asuzara, just to give you guys a level update. Level 17 from Cooterz and level 18 from Ilerica, going up the Vol Pyramid quite easily here. And, you know, Asuzara, I've seen, you know, a smile creep across her face a couple times on her stream. She's having a fun time, and that's really what matters. You know, so lots of these people have taken the races on short notice. You know, I think this community event is excellent. And I think she's, as long as she has a lot of fun and, you know, she wants to come back in the future and gets other people excited about racing, that is all we can really ask for. Declara just hits the shadow ball, and she is on her way to the northern forest as well. It's amazing what happened when Declara seemed at one point so far ahead. We just kept talking about her, like, man, she knows what she's doing. But now Ilerica comes out of left field with that speedy positioning and preparation, and now she is on her way to kill Vol Oversoul.
She definitely has a better understanding of the early game, which is also, we saw the spark play, we saw using the fire trap and everything. Going into the Blade Vortex is a little bit of an uncomfortable skill, because it's not. I don't believe that she has really played with it before, so that might be why she's going a little bit slower now.
Maybe, yeah. She's, you know, with this level of speed, she's reminding me of a female version of Ray's QT. I mean, look at that left sleeve tattoo. I mean, she's maybe embodying, channeling his spirit to get a little bit extra speed here.
Yeah, I will say, like, if we're comparing Lara to Cute, I think that would be a good comparison, as Lara and Ryze are both avid solo self-found players.
I was actually talking about Ilerica with the left sleeve tattoo in the bottom right. You see there. Very similar to Raze's tattoo. But yes, Declar does play solo self-found hardcore, always mentioned in her streams, giving that extra bit of prestige. These dirty softcore players, they just can't compete with the prestige that comes from the better league. And we have another plaque coming out from Asuzara. She hits it in no danger of dying. Nice. Going pretty speedy, she chooses to log out, and she'll log back in, and she is well on her way as well. It's very interesting to see two shadows, a witch, and a scion. The scion is the starting nodes, I feel like, are quite weak on scion. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I do think they are quite weak. But I would say this, the Scion is actually a very solid choice. It puts you very close to having duration. And once you start getting that duration, having the more stacks, giving you the more damage multiplier, very powerful. But then also for the preparation for the Izaro, because you get all that resist, which I think is definitely going to pay off in the end, because if you can just tank in there and be able to just cast more Blade Vortexes, well, then that might actually provide you with more damage than what your tooltip otherwise tells you.
Yeah, absolutely. And can we get a full screen on Ilerica here? We have a very fast Vault Oversoul kill going out. Unlucky, he goes underground. She has to deal with an ad phase, but look at this flame dashing, using like 3 or 4 flame dashes in a row in the meantime, waiting for Vol. Just getting very comfortable with her hotkeys.
Yeah. No, definitely putting down some damage before he pops up again, squeezing everything she can out of that extra utility skill. You are allowed to do that as long as you just maintain your Blade Vortex as your main damage skill.
Yep, and there we go. There's an easy Vol kill. Let's see if she logs out. Oh, and then right after doing a quick scan of the items, picking up what she needs, goes back to town. Logs out, goes back to town, and now she will be in Insidious Sarn, the first one to do so. Asuzara getting an oak kill here. It's a lot of time now with the speed of these kills, I'm really not sure who has the better gear. I think it's all within a very slim margin. Declar's gear is a little bit more life-based. But yeah, this skill is going to carry the way. And I'm excited to see as the levels go up at level 18, Control Destruction, faster casting. Maybe they'll put in an increased crit that's level 8, maybe some added damages, level 8 gems as well. We'll have to see how they min-max their damages before Izaro.
Yeah, for sure. I will say earlier we saw Ilerica immediately going towards logging out, right? Very well played, picking up the essential items. She did almost make the mistake, but then she stopped herself and then realized, well, I need to sell first. I need to go buy the things of the vendor. And then she went back to Act 3. I'm really liking what I'm seeing right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a solid performance from all the ladies. It's definitely exciting to see. We see Declar making her way through the pyramid, Cooterz as well, and now we have Asuzara making her way through the Vol ruins, so just hot on their tail. Maybe we have Raze Cutie whispering sweet nothings in her ear on Twitch or in her Twitch chat, giving her that advice, because she does look to be moving a lot faster now. Those crits, we can see a Herald of Ice action. If I were her, I would put on Gore Herald if she has that, because the Gore Herald gives a visibly bigger AoE on the Herald of Ice, which could help with her clear speed there. And Cooterz, it looks like she's doing some inventory management as she's fighting the mobs with that flame dash. Have you noticed, Nugi, that when you cast Blade Vortex, you look like you're getting stunned? I can't tell if she's getting stunned or she's casting Blade Vortex here.
Oh, yeah. I think on the shadow, right? Because he does that, the lean back all the time. Lean back.
He leans back to cast, but it looks like a stun. So it's gonna be a little confusing seeing this on getting peppered by many mobs here.
Cooterz not being confused at all.
Gotcha. So it looks like we're a couple 2 to 4 seconds ahead, Nugi, just to keep that in mind from what people are seeing in the chat. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. No, it's not spoiling anything too crazy, but just something to keep in mind. We have Cooterz popping the Apex, and now we will see the second Vault Oversoul fight of the day coming out from Cooterz. She takes a sip of her drink. She's ready. She's hydrated.
We have Lara as well coming in for the Apex. Yep. It's going to be a
side-by-side comparison.
Yeah.
Yep, Lara a little bit behind Cooterz in terms of Vault Oversoul takes forever to spawn. He definitely makes the player wait a little bit too long. But here we go. We have Cooterz basically nothing much to say about the gameplay. Right click your Blade Vortex, run around. Hopefully don't get hit by a slam or a laser. And then Vault Oversoul come out for Declar as well.
We can talk about how this particular kill kind of runs out or pans out normally. What you're hoping for here is that he will never actually spawn more ants. One thing you can do is you can leave the ants up, which Cooterz is doing, and that will then make him not spawn more ants because there's already ants spawned. So he will just keep staying up in the fight and then keep slamming away.
Did you see what just happened there on Cooterz fight? Vault Oversoul had lifted up his giant hammer and was about to do a slam, and she decided to DPS race it. You can see it on her face. She knew that she just outdid him on the damage there, or else she would have died to the slam.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting strategies.
I like it though. I like it. Shows confidence in her
Declar as well. Getting that kill, going to town because she had already had a portal for safety up, and now maybe it seems to be about the same time what she's doing here, going to City of Sarn. So now Cooterz and Declar neck and neck with Illyrica already in the. Is this the crematorium that she's already in? How did we miss her going through the slums?
She is in crematorium already. She did have a little bit of a lead coming into Act 3.
Dang, we have raised Lyrica just blowing through these zones. She's going to be picking up another Sensi here. There's no reason. I think she has her chat open as well. I see her glancing to the side a little bit. So if she knows that she's in the lead, there's no reason for her not to just get the trial right as she comes upon it. And look at that. It just shows up for her. The RNG is so good. The direction that she was going anyways has the trial for her.
Definitely having a good run here on the RNG. Sometimes you can get unlucky in this zone and you have to pretty much full clear the entire zone as you have to go both left and right, but it's lining up pretty well. So
using Flame Dash expertly to avoid as much fire damage on the ground as possible, save her some HP. She comes upon the plaque. There's a rare here, but nothing too scary. She hits it and disrespects it by not even gonna go for the kill. Go straight back. She is completely focused here.
She is a little bit low on the lightning rest and the fire actually coming into the zone. Doesn't get phased by the fire ground. So now we'll see whether or not her true rise skills will shine through, meaning that she would then fall to her death against Piety. What do you think?
You know, I think she has truly embodied. I'm going to call her Raised Lyrica from now on. She is just too good. She knows what she's doing. That one death early on, if you remember, it was such a fast death that it really gave her that motivation. She's like, you know what? This is never going to happen again. And I think she's going to be the first to most of these bosses today. I'm rooting for Lyrica, you know, newest streamer of the bunch, but doing crazy work here.
No. Definitely agreeing on the potential here.
Look at this damage.
It's crazy. It's really good. She has a very good setup right now. Her gems are on point. She has that faster casting, the Arcane Search. She has opted for added lightning, not control destruction. A little bit of a improvement. Yeah, that could be made right there. But I would say on every other gem, it's looking real good.
Yeah, and the damage effectiveness is low.
Yes, very true. And when we're talking about damage effectiveness here, it is the skill, how much effect any added damage that you get on something like added lightning or gear, how much effect that has on the skill. So if you have a skill with low damage effectiveness, essentially if you get 10 damage of like your wand, let's say it gets 10 damage to lightning on your spells. Well, if you have 20% damage effectiveness, well, that essentially is only 2. But if you had like 100%, that would be 10.
So yeah, that's a very good explanation. And so, but as we know, a Tabula is ridiculous. A 6-link when leveling is completely out of control. And so I think it definitely makes the race a little bit more interesting. We have her going through the sewers now. Let's see if she can get even better RNG and maybe get all the busts on the way. We have Asuzara doing some kind of vendoring in town. She has at least hit the Shadow Orb and is making her way to Vault Oversoul. We have Declar in the crematorium as well. So I would say right now Declar has a real shot if she focuses and doesn't really like you can see here falling low to the blue packs, taking a lot of time to kill 3 blues. There are stone golems, maybe a little bit of extra XP, but I think she really needs to step up the efficiency to catch up to the #1 spot right now.
Yeah, for sure. I was just looking over some of their gear, just trying to like get a glimpse of kind of how they're looking. Lara is rocking 192 maximum life. I'm not entirely sure how to read this extra app here, but that is a lot of extra life. You can also see she's almost at 700.
That is a juicy amount of life. You know, someone mentioned in chat that we have 2 NA players. So bottom left, top right are Team NA, hashtag Team NA. And then top left and bottom right are Team EU. So Team EU has the first and last place. And then Team NA, or I guess we could call it, well, no, they're not from the US. Not both of them, at least. Team NA has the middle 2 spots. What do you think about this? At the end, are you rooting for Team EU or Team NA?
I think I would have to root with my EU boys here, or girls. What about you, CuteDog?
You know, I gotta represent. I know Cooterz is from the States. I really hope she comes up and maybe she finds a better move speed shield, gets a little bit better boots, and she will be on her way to victory. I'm really hoping for a close race. It's always not so fun when you see one person step out ahead and just completely dominate the race. But all these ladies are doing fantastic. You know, the Blade Vortex and the Tabula really makes it so that anything can happen. I'm excited to see some deaths in the lab and some resets. I want to see how they cope with adversity and how they how a lab reset affects their psyche and their strategies.
I do think that they have I don't think they have that much experience, and I do know Lyrica was struggling a little bit surviving in the lab. So we'll see whether or not she has found a way to improve and overcome that. But there is definitely a high risk that they will be taken down, especially with the lab setup today, which is double sword, and the what was it called again? The
conduits, or
the conduits. Yes, exactly. Which is a potential for some serious damage out of Izaro. So even if you're fully prepared, you can be taken down.
Yep. I want to make note of something right now. We have Asuzara at level 18. Team NA is both level 20 shadows, and then Lyrica with the 22. Now, another thing, though, if you guys were watching the Piety kill from Clara, it was at least 5 times slower than Lyrica's Piety kill. So there is a huge difference going on between these two characters.
Yeah, and again, I definitely think that comes down to the gem selection. We do have a Lyrica with concentrated effect. No concentrated effect on Clara right now.
That is going to be juicy for the damages there. We have Cooterz doing a little skill tree management here, and we have a Vol Oversoul kill coming out from Asuzara. She has popped the Apex. She's ready. She has a defensive portal set up. She's not precasting the Blade Vortex. A little bit of a mistake. She just casted the Blade Vortex as Vol became targetable. Oof, but it's okay. You know, it goes underground. She's in no danger of dying, and she's cleaning up ads right now. Puts down a totem and goes back to town. Maybe low on flask, maybe want to recharge, reset.
I think she wasn't too happy with her current mana situation. She was a bit low, but she did already have blades out, and she did have a charge left. So I do think that she could have gone in there for some damage for sure.
Definitely, and especially no defensive TP come out here. So maybe if we got a little slam, a little lightning bolts coming out from Vol, but it's not. It's hitting the decoy totem. So excellent placement by her. She gets the full DPS. She gets to keep casting blades and does not have to reposition. Excellent work. And he goes down. Steel Greaves. Let's see if that's an upgrade to her current blue boots, and she's going to log out, go back to City of Sarn. Nice work, Asuzara.
I want to say here, this is where Asuzara has the one advantage right now, is that she does have that decoy. The decoy will be crucial for going through lamp, and she has it already. And you could already see it there on the Vol kill, not having to reposition, saving her a decent amount of time there.
Definitely, and then Asuzara now making quick work of these Harbinger mobs, getting a little bit of extra XP. She is currently behind at level 19. But if she fights a few more bigger packs here, she should be right into the thick of things. We have Lyrica just going through is this the battlefront already? Yeah, raise Lyrica, just, only casting that Blade Vortex when there's a pack of, it looks like 4+ monsters. And that's something I heard Raze talk about this morning. He said, Asuzara, when you're looking at packs, 3-4 mobs or above is only when you should be attacking.
Definitely very good advice. Cannot but agree with that. Also, I'm looking at her levels right here. They're on point. Like leveling up to 23 in the battlegrounds. One should think that she's done this before. Yeah,
it is crazy. I have seen her in her stream title that she was practicing the last 2 days. But how much can you achieve in terms of improvement in racing in just 2 days, Nugi?
Well, not even 2 days. I asked all these girls yesterday whether or not they had the time to participate. So even less prep, so even more impressive. But you can definitely get a lot done. A few practice runs, if you haven't done anything before, gives you a very good idea of where you struggle.
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of things come up during the racing practice where you think, okay, how can I solve this the next time if it comes up? You know, be it gem levels, gem colors, things like that. And one thing I want to know, maybe I can get your expertise on this. We see D-Cloud's minimap here, full terrain and unexplored areas, whereas we have Cooterz only has the lines. Oh, well, she has a little bit of terrain, but I don't think she has full terrain. And Asuzara has a little bit as well. So what's the advantages to going full YOLO terrain and maybe just the lines?
I think going full terrain makes you able to appreciate your surroundings a little bit more. Other than that, it doesn't really give you any real racing advantage. But it might give you a better mental attitude.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, positive mental attitude is very important. It's not just a meme. It does help you in these races, especially when things don't go your way. Bad RNG, for example, with boots for Cooterz, a death early on with Alerica, and I believe Asuzara tanked a smash from Brutus early on. So if you can get past those things, you know, put it behind you, you will be A-okay. You know, Asuzara, look at these flame dashes going through the slums with ease.
She definitely has the rhythm down here for the play with the flame dash. I would like to see her maybe work a little bit on her XP right now. Like the only thing really to note here, she does have a good prep. Yeah, but she is falling a little bit behind. 19 in here is not too good, because if you get to that battlefront and you're still around 21, say, then you're really going to struggle, as Dox is going to be too high level, and Solaris might also be a little bit too high level. So I'm hoping to see her kind of like, oh, she is 20. Okay, I just had the update on my UI here. So if she is 20, that is okay. As long as she's focusing now on that XP, she'll probably do okay.
Yeah, she does have 2 Quicksilvers. I think the only player currently to be using the 2 Quicksilver flasks.
Did we see how she achieved the second one?
It must have been RNG, because I only saw way in the beginning. She did do the Tile Island, obviously. So the other one was probably a lucky drop. I have seen it drop for certain people in you know, the mud flats as early as that. So good RNG on her second. Oh, going very low, 10% HP. No. She has a life blast though. She had a charge on the life blast, and she chooses to log out for the safety. Maybe will that be 1 minute from the point of the waypoint to where she was? I believe that could be close to a 1 minute run.
I with the double Quicksilver, I think she is okay. I think that with that, she's definitely better off logging out. So I think she made the right decision here.
Very, very tense situation there, but you know, she did have 1 charge of her big life flask left. But you know, these things happen when you are in danger of dying. Sometimes you know, you decide to take the much safer route, and we have Cooterz in the docks, just farming away, getting some XP. She's very close to the next level, just a few more mobs. There she goes. Gets the level, has a giant mana flask, but she already has that one. We have D-Cloud doing another trial. So I don't know, maybe like chat or Havoc can tell me how many trials each of them are at, because that will play into like how many minutes they save as they all come up on level about, what is it, like 27 or so, when they think about taking on Izaro.
If we look at Cooterz right now, as we talked about earlier with Asuzara, she is struggling a little bit with the XP, going to the dock. She is trying to level there, but she is heavily penalized, being that, did she level? I believe she just hit 22.
On my screen, she's showing 21 for Cooterz.
I don't know because if she is 21 and she's doing docks, then she is in heavy penalty. If she did hit that 22, then it's okay, a little bit better. I would have liked to see her. Yeah, so she did hit 22. I would have liked to see her going to Solaris first to get a little bit more of that XP before going into the higher zone that is docks.
Absolutely. And now we have an easy piety kill coming out from Asuzara. But one thing to note is, although the damage was a little bit better than Declar's character at the same point on the map, it was still miles behind Ilerica's damages. And maybe the health difference will make an impact later on, but it is just so jarring to see that difference. We have now Cooterz, like you said, maybe she's taking your advice. She is going towards the ribbons, which means it signals the Solaris, so she might gain a few levels in there. So we have Team NA here, one in the Battlefronts, one in the Solaris. Then we have Team EU with Asuzara doing some inventory management, equipping another Coral Ring perhaps instead of the Sapphire. I didn't really see that. Get a little bit of survivability. And then number one place, Raise Lyrica going into the Imperial Gardens. Is she going to go for the Hedge Maze first? Is she going to go into the Upper Supper of God? What do you think?
I do think she will opt for the Hedge Maze here. It would be kind of a little bit of a show off here, a little bit of showboating going. Oh, okay, this is right. Okay, so she recognizes that she needs to get the decoy totem. I did talk to her about this, recommending to get that totem because you can't, even if you're prepared, your gear is good and your potions are good, you would rather not tank Izaro. So she's now going towards that library, going to Siosa, and she's going to be picking up decoy.
Is she going to do the entire golden pages? That means she has to find the loose candle. She has to find the zone, go into the zone, get 4 pages, and then TP back, or not TP back, waypoint back. That is an insane amount of time. Maybe the other players can do this. Was muling from a duelist allowed early on, or no?
It was definitely allowed.
Okay.
The only restriction was Blade Vortex. So there's no restriction on the character choices and all that. You could have been playing Blade Vortex as a duelist.
Gotcha. Okay, that is very interesting.
You would rather just go for the onslaught from the duelist and then the decoy.
I mean, Havoc letting me know that possibly some of these racers were suggested that a blind could be beneficial because, as you know, blind is extremely powerful against attacks. Just basically having the accuracy, I believe it is, will make you a little bit more survivable. Once again, if you get unlucky RNG, who knows? But overall, it should be a good amount of survivability. And she's making quick work here, and she is getting some XP in the library. Oh, she finds loose candle. Okay, I remember the last time I did this zone, I had a nightmare finding that extra zone. So, you know, she's doing okay. She's still so far ahead that she can afford to get the Siosa now.
And I would even say that it is even though this takes a long time, the XP in the zone is good. The area is very good for Blade Vortex. As you can see, narrow corridors all over the place. They're walking close to the freezing pool. So everything is coming towards you and everything is just around you. So you're not running around for anything. And you do actually need some levels before you enter Izaro. Especially if you're not too comfortable. It is advisable, if you're new to racing, to overlevel a little bit. Especially with spells, as spells matter a lot from the damage output, as the damage from spells is based on the level of the gem. So I think it's definitely the right choice. Also, just to get maybe blind, and then definitely the decoy.
Yeah, and this is going to be exciting because she's already gotten 2 pages, and you know, still so far ahead. So no worries there. You can tell right now with a 2-level advantage, that is huge, right? We have so we have a level report here. Ilerica, or Raise Lyrica, level 24. Huge at this level. That is a lot of time. We have Cooterz, who's hitting 23, and we have Declara in the marketplace. I believe she's in right now, or is she back at City of Sarn farming some XP? I believe she's in City of Sarn now still. Okay. So resetting and getting some XP. She is level 22, but with the mobs in here, she will be soon hitting 23. And Asuzara is ding, ding, ding. She hits level 21. Fantastic work there. So the range is, it looks like, 3 levels, but Ilerica is also going to be maybe hitting level 25 here. So it is spreading out a little bit. I believe, like from some of the progressors say that these players should aim for about level 27, maybe 28 to kill Izaro, but the decoy tone is going to be huge, especially the Blade Vortex. Look at that AoE. That is tiny, tiny Asian AoE. It is not going to be engorged for the Izaro fight. You're going to be taking a lot of attacks to the face. You're going to be taking possible and closer to Izaro means that if he chooses to slam or sunder or sweep you, you have less time to react to it.
Definitely. But again, here with the Blade Vortex, it might be tiny, but is definitely more powerful with this Kong effect setup.
We'll see if the Siosa quest pays off for her. Look at that. She's buying some extra potions. She's very mindful. You know, if I'm going to be taking this damage, if I'm basically a melee range build, I need the life flask to go with it. And let's see if the other racers follow suit. No one's doing too bad in the flask department. You know, Cooterz has 2 mana potions along with Declar. So, but also Illyrica has 2 of the bigger mana potions as well. And now she's making her way to the hedge maze, getting that final trial. I'm not sure if she has every single trial before that, but this will be an excellent way to make her way towards Izaro.
So we did see Cooterz killing Gravicious. There really isn't anything that you can pick up from Gravicious. Gravicious provides you with level 28 gems, though none of them being allowed to be used in this specific race. So maybe a little bit mismanagement of her time.
Maybe, but you know, I know for me, I know my internet speeds, Nugi, but sometimes I like to go to speedtest.com and measure my speeds anyways. You know, it's a confidence booster. You know, it's a little EP in action, maybe a little showboating for the stream, saying, look, I got this juicy Tabula sponsored by CuteDog_TM, and I just want to show off a little bit.
Okay, yeah, maybe preparing herself, getting a little test of, well, is my damage high enough right now before going into Izaro? And Gravicious with that explosive molten shell and high damage might be
I mean, if she had died, it would have been hilarious, you know?
That would have been pretty funny.
But she didn't, and that's all that matters. The current results are all we're looking for, and she is making her way. Maybe she forgot it was a normal Izaro kill. It's happened to other people before.
This could be scary. A ghosted coal.
She logs out. Maybe she's gonna farm another area here. There's no way that she has all 6 trials completed, I don't think. And we have, let's see what's going on. Oh, Battlefront Asuzara. Asuzara hitting the waypoint. She knows where it is. She's gonna go into docks, possibly farming some XP. She's clearing these maps, these packs of mobs pretty well, getting some extra XP. She's gonna be coming up on level 22 pretty soon.
Yes.
I believe.
I really want to. Okay, so this is again here where listening to Rise would have been paying off hugely here, because she really needs to go to Solaris. Going to docks with this level, as you really want these levels, is a bit of a mistake.
Well, can you expand on that?
Yeah, because she was actually catching up for a while. We had Cooterz being in the wrong areas, right? Cooterz also went to docks, and she was in heavy XP penalty, being 21 going into 22. So I believe she's in, I believe it's like maybe 46 to 50. I think at 23 you get a 70% penalty. Anything lower than that, and it goes to the 50s and even lower. Yeah, so that's very detrimental to your XP gain. And then Asuzara was in the right zones getting tons of XP, but now she then rushed into docks. So now she did the same thing as Cooterz, and now she's in this huge penalty.
You know, when everyone's getting XP penalties, then nobody is. Wouldn't you say, Nugi? I mean, I'm looking at their XP bars. XP bars are visibly moving. You know, this isn't like a beachhead rota at level 99. That XP bar is flying. Asuzara is going to level in a couple mobs here. Let's take a look. She doesn't die, that is, but at this point there's no death penalties. So for XP, that is. So she's going to be leveling Cooterz. It's amazing. Cooterz and Asuzara are actually about to level at the exact same time. And Illyrica is going to level as well. Declar is level 23. So once again, the range of levels, it looks like 4 levels between
very close.
The racers, yeah. But Asuzara does have some ground to make up if she wants to make it into Izaro with any chance of not getting, not just going for the Hail Mary and maybe an under-leveled, under-geared character doing it just because she thinks that the other racers are ahead of her.
You know what, CuteDog? There might be some mental aspect to this. It might be a mind game. Because if let's say we have some people, maybe I haven't checked out their chats, but there could be some updates. Right, so let's say that the Cooterz decides, well, I am going to docks right now. I know that Illyrica's ahead, so I'm going to rush docks to give the impression that I'm on pace. As you can see, both players in docks.
Wow, okay, this is next level deception. You know, I mean, they are definitely not following the bro code, but this is a race of 4 ladies, Nugi, so maybe the bro code does not apply, you know?
No, definitely. Again, I wouldn't really be able to speak to that code. Maybe it's a hidden thing. I don't know.
Well, I mean, once again, look at the XP bars. Cooterz XP bar is flying. She's really making good use of positioning to kill multiple mobs at once. Her Blade Flare is doing work. We do know for a fact that as of a few levels ago, Ilerica had the most massive DPS on her Blade Vortex. Sorry, I said Blade Flare earlier, but I meant Blade Vortex. But it looks like Asuzara's Blade Vortex has the biggest girth. We'll see if that plays out for her advantage later on. And we have a lot of flame dash, and we have like these flame dashes and these harbingers, Nugi. It's like 100 unit range, 150 unit range flame dashes. What if we had access to that skill? It's called wall flame dash.
That would be amazing. That would actually be really, that might actually put casters in a spot where they could compete in the end game metagame.
Yeah, bombs. Those harbingers, the flame dashes are so out of control.
I gotta say, I really wish I had them.
And we have a, let's see, D. Clara has just gotten the Infernal Talc, I believe. So she's going to be.
You can see Lara here. She is opting to not go to dogs. She was getting everything else done beforehand, leveling a bit. So she's coming into dogs at 23. So she definitely knows that this is the correct choice.
Yep, a few bars away from leveling, so it looks like she knows exactly what she's doing with the XP. Cooterz has an unassigned skill point that she will be putting. It looks like when she looked at her skill point, or when she looked at her skill tree the last time I checked, very quick skill point assignment. Whereas sometimes you see people struggle. They're like, do I go up? Do I go down? Do I want more witch area? Do I want more Templar area? And it's like paralysis that happens where you could just be killing more mobs.
Yeah, for sure. I think that definitely comes down to good preparation and just sticking to, again, your game plan. If you're sticking to a game and you believe in what you've set yourself out to do, well, then it's also very easy to just make that decision.
We have a level 27 Ilerica coming on in. Now, what do you think? Do you think she's going to go for the ultimate confidence play of, let's just go into the lab. Let's see what happens. I have a decoy totem. It's probably leveled up a few times by now. Maybe we'll see that.
I think that I think maybe I would hope that she does not let confidence get the better of her here, because she probably knows that she's well ahead. She looks to be doing good. I think that what she is trying to wait for right now is the Blade Vortex level up. Yeah, which is at 27. So I think the correct level to go in is 27. She is closing in very rapidly.
Havoc has let me know that there is a big development. She's having stat issues, and she might go for 28 so that she can actually level up her Blade Vortex. That will be a huge amount of damage. So, I mean, maybe I don't want to metagame too hard, but if the other racers find out about this, it might be a confidence boost. They might change their strategy in terms of leveling, make sure that they can also level up.
Because she's going for a gem here. Okay, so she opts for Artigamer to get that kill ground and the less physical damage done. And even also fire, as the barrage is split, fist, and fire, and all his other attacks are physical.
There's some interesting emotes being spammed in chat. It looks like everyone's excited. I love this. You know, when you have races like this where it's such a fun event, the chat gets a little bit excited. All we ask is that, you know, all the races equal. I know it's a ladies only race, but I don't know if that was like intended or that's just how the participants were randomly selected and just turned out to be ladies. But you know, much respect for all of them for coming out today and giving it their all in the normal Izaro kill.
Yeah, definitely. And the lady showing that they don't care that they don't get to prep a lot. They just said, well, I am down. I'm going in and showing what I can do, regardless of whether or not I actually don't have much experience. And I think that's great to see.
One thing, let's talk about, I think they all have a pretty great relationship. You know, there's a lot of like a lot of communities around the female streamers and stuff like that, as opposed to the BM that we saw coming out this morning, Nugi, between the Gucci products and Ziz, a little BM, a little NMA coming out on both sides. I don't know what to think of that. We'll get more details on that. I don't want to bog down this race in NMA, but I think they're all very friendly. And at the end of the race, you know, they're going to do handshakes all around. They're going to be maybe go off, have a little Starbucks together. And yeah, I'm excited to do the post-race commentary with them. We have Asuzara logging out to get a little bit of refresh in town. We have Declar falling very low, getting surrounded, but using the Flame Dash expertly to get out of there.
Yes, very nice.
That was spooky. These blue mobs sometimes, the freeze pulse doing so much damage. Really a testament to that skill.
She does have her best resist is the cold, so that might actually would have been what saved her in this instance. Had she not have any cold resist, I do believe she would have gone down right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it looked like Asura had some login issues. Maybe she was changing gateways, maybe a little bit of lag, you know. So gotta make sure
the player server is down. So that is very unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Hopefully she didn't lose too much progress on a waypoint or in a zone. You know, sometimes getting out of your groove like that is so demoralizing. You know, you're chugging along, you're getting XP, you know what you're doing next, and then bam, disconnect. Now you're worried. You know, that is terrible.
I'm happy to see, though, that she is just getting immediately into the game again, not phased at all. We had a little bit of an unfortunate incident earlier with Sizz. He got very frustrated, decided to even leave his PC and lost a full minute from not being at his desk.
That is unfortunate. We have Alerica going into the lab. She is progressing to the top right of the screen where the other doorway usually is. The first one in the lab. She is level 28, but she did not take a stat node. Ooh, this is going to be interesting to watch. 131 to enter the lab, Nugi. That's better than I could ever do at this point.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. They do have the, I will say they do have the advantage of the Tabula, but I believe you normally run with both Abbott's Hooves and the Headhunter.
Yeah, that is true. Or, you know, I use this little thing called getting carried with my streamer advantage. It is absolutely disgusting, but we won't talk too much about that. We do have to remember that these ladies are using a Tabula, right? A little bit extra. A little bit extra juice to how fast you can go in a race. But now she's going to the Spirens route. We have the first Izaro fight coming up. Let's see how she fares here. The other racers, Cooterz went to the hedge maze a few minutes ago, but let's focus maybe a little full screen action on as now the other racers are close to entering the lab. And here we go. The first conduit's coming, popping out of the ground. Let's see how she manages her positioning here. Ooh, and a little leap slam on the decoy as she touches the conduit, avoiding the barrages expertly as she runs around, not getting hit once yet. This is amazing. Look at
walks
that.
in front. That was close. I would say that was a little bit more luck than skill right there. She did walk in front, but then dodged.
Yeah, that was nice. We have another conduit coming up. Now, with this, it's going to be quite hard, I think, with the movement speed. I mean, she does have a little bit of movement speed, doesn't she? At 15%, but without really fast boosts and the Twink leveling gear, sometimes you can let some of these conduits stay up as he hits 60-something% health, you know, and he goes underground with those conduits up. It's very spooky.
Oh, definitely. You definitely want to stay focused, and you definitely want to not panic here, as if you can stay closer to him, movement speed matters less. Because if you stay close to him, you have to cover less area to walk around him. Say that if you're like running away and then he starts swimming, or he starts doing his slash against you, well, then you have to, then it covers a much larger area than you then have to walk out of, versus just being up close.
Yeah, a really nice thing about this Blade Vortex is as she's walking around, you know, these skeletons that are spawning, she's getting some benefit from them, doesn't have to target at all. So that's really nice. You see her really focusing on hitting these conduits. She wants Izaro to be as unbuffed as possible. And Blasting Cat giving me some juicy notes on this race. He says that a fun fact is that Alerica's, this is her first race ever. She doesn't compete in any of the previous sanctioned by Gigi events, and she has only practiced 3 runs total before this one.
Wow, that is quite impressive, I would say. Then, with all the different strats that even the pros use here, we have the blind, we have the decoy. I don't know. It's just great.
Yeah, this is fantastic to watch. No real danger coming out. I mean, the slash has some girth to it. Look at that. Going on to the next phase. Let's go. I might send her a Starbucks gift card after this for this performance. This is very, very fun to watch. And definitely, if we go back to the polls from before the start of the stream, you know, definitely Alerica was in last place.
Wow.
People thought 10% of people that participate in the poll said that Alerica will win. So in dead last by a huge margin, 54% of people said that Declar will win. What do you think about this? I think people have crowd favorites because of maybe streamers having a bigger following or have been streaming longer. But yes, as someone in chat saying, I am in love right now. These racing skills raise Alerica. I'm a little bit confused right now.
Yeah, I think definitely some of the that Lara being the more veteran racer here between the 4 racers is probably what's putting her in the crowd favorite spot. I will say though, on the Izaro fight we had earlier, I don't know if you noticed, but she did actually fail to deactivate the fire conduit.
Unfortunate. Yeah. Let's see here. So, I mean, we have her going through... These traps aren't that scary. Like, to me, Nugi, I think spiky traps out of the ground, especially at random intervals.
Traps. Yeah.
Hate them. But these spinny traps, no problem. The hitboxes are kind of garbage. And, look at that. She knows. She probably has PoE lab open, going the different way. Not just to go in that door. Doesn't even look at it to see if it's like an annex or another area. But she's going back now. Okay, hold on.
Going for some flash charges.
Oh, I see. Expert player. That's right. Oh, and we have Cooterz fighting first phase Izaro here. Cooterz is she's taking about 35-40% of her damage from an auto attack from Izaro. So let's just see what happens here. Avoids the slash, no big deal. Second conduit coming up, and it hasn't been hit by the barrage a single time, at least not in bulk. And did you see that? Did she evade the slash? There was no way that hitbox didn't graze the character there.
Yeah, we're talking about, because we do have two fights here. The slash being on Ilerica.
On Cooterz, it went right on top of Cooterz' character, but health did not move. So maybe we get a side by side right now of Cooterz and Ilerica, and we can. Nice. It's important to know that Cooterz is phase 1, and Ilerica is phase 2, so a little bit further. Portals coming out. This is gonna be a lot of flash charges here. So maybe she even wants to leave the portals open because her damage is so good.
Definitely don't want to do that. The ads coming out of the portals do actually not provide you with any flash charges.
Really?
Yes, it is only the green skeletons that will provide you. So they are
a noob.
They are very annoying. They are super tanky. They do a ton of damage with their elemental damages, especially if you don't have cap resist. So it's definitely something I would recommend you taking down, as they can overwhelm you otherwise.
Okay, that is good to know. I will save that. I've gained 50 IQ, and I'm on my way to infinite knowledge for future race commentary. I apologize, but thank you for clarifying. Everyone in chat, don't act like you knew that fact. Okay, you guys all gained 50 IQ as well. Very glowy brain moment right there. And these fights are pretty intense. Look at that. Barely dodging the radius of that slam by Ilerica, but she knows what she's doing. Look at that. So maybe she's heeding your advice. She's casting the Blade Vortex, and she is going for the portals, going back and forth, dragging Izaro to one side, hitting the portal on the other side, and then vice versa. Cooterz going down to 30%, taking some damage here from auto attacks and such. This is going to be very scary for Cooterz, but I think it looked like that sleep was nowhere near her. Maybe these hitboxes
just barely grazed her.
I'd like to see lockstep versus predictive here. I want to know what settings they're using, because I saw one flash charge use left. This is
like, I want to see her survive, but I also want to see her die. I know that might not be nice, but like a little lab death here and there.
Yeah, because as you said, some of these racers are used to playing map characters, and when mapping, depending on your build, you choose predictive over lockstep. There are merits to both. If you forget to change it over for these racing events, it could affect you. They've told us that we are 5 seconds ahead. Should me and Nugi refresh our watcher TLDR
we could try.
Let's try that and see what happens. Maybe the lag of the loading. Refreshing will put you farther. Oh shit! I already reloaded. I'm loading up now. Currently I'm showing on my screen for example, Asuzara's timer 1:40:00, and on screen it looks.
Yeah, I am with you on that.
It's looking pretty similar for me and Nugi. We're on the same page. But
we are definitely on the same page.
Regardless, let's keep commentating. We'll just keep in mind that Ilerica right now is fighting Izaro still the same phase. So although she has the highest DPS out of the 4 racers, the ads might be proving to be to make her a little bit more cautious than she would like to be. That is a lot of mobs. And that is Izaro playing a Skelly Mage build?
He's also buffed a bit. Maybe he is. He might have been looking into the build of the week.
I mean, that build of the week is in full swing. Look at the middle of the screen. Fireballs, LMP, GMP action, icy spears coming out from those skeletons. That is extremely dangerous. But if she keeps running the circle, she hasn't taken any huge hits as opposed to Cooterz. Cooterz is taking some massive hits for some reason. And Asuzara is farming docks right now. She's going to get some XP. She will be 25 very quickly. And Declaw managing her inventory, seeing if there's any last minute things she can augment, transmute, things like that, selling some flasks. And she has a 2-stone ring she's looking into. Maybe she knows conduits. You know, good preparation, you know. What's that word? What's that mantra that people go by? A minute, a stitch in time saves 9, I believe. So
okay, I've never heard that expression before, but I'll take that to heart for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So preparation could be key here. Like you said earlier, if you die, that's at least 5 minutes of going through the lab again. So I mean, looking at this Illyrica fight, I mean, these skeleton mages are not going down. It's crazy. And the fire damage, oh my goodness. Can she even? Oh my god, pro strats for Izaro. If Izaro simply sits in the middle of his skeletons, he will not take any damage without providing extreme risk to Illyrica's character.
That is definitely true. I will say on a positive note here, in this intense minion battle, she has actually taken down every single portal. So if she can just take down some of these mages, they will not be able to respawn.
There we go. Yeah, so maybe skirt the edges. Someone in chat mentioned she's the Duck Duck Goose champion 2017. Just going round and round and round. Izaro cannot catch her. Playing a game of cooties with Izaro. And and now we have Cooterz coming up. She also has one conduit, except for hers, I believe, is Frost Conduit. She's going to go into phase 2. And how about this, Nugi? They are both on the same phase. A few minutes earlier, Cooterz was still fighting phase 1, but now that the race has become Cooterz versus Illyrica. Let's see who triumphs. Illyrica not in any danger of going low as of recent, but Cooterz has taken huge hits. We will see what happens here.
Yeah, so I will say this is maybe where the struggle of the gem levels comes into play, as Illyrica only has that level 3 Blade Vortex. Cooterz having the level 4. Oh, and even level 5, actually. 2 levels ahead.
Jeez. Regen Shrine. Look at this. Mana will not be an issue here.
Wow.
If Cooterz do you think Cooterz knows that if she plays it safe, she literally cannot die if she keeps running in a circle here? She will never run out of any of the health or the mana for the rest of the lab. Very lucky pickup there. And so she's going to probably play it safe, kill every portal, just like Illyrica did. Another thing to note is that Illyrica has 1 death, whereas Cooterz has 0. That's a minute. Not that much, but in this tense situation, it could really change who takes the #1 spot, given no one dies in the lab.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely the preparation here, setting up yourself a little bit better with the gem levels, and then just saying, okay, I am going to make sure that I have the best setup coming into the lab, and then that's going to carry me to the victory.
Barrage hits Cooterz. Luckily, the barrage has a variance in how clustered together it is, and if that had and she goes down. As we were talking about the barrage, a full set hits her directly on target. North Korea versus Japan, and Cooterz was Japan in that instance, and she goes down. But look at that, she has a little bit of a look of frustration on her face, but she goes right back into the lab. Doesn't look at her gear. No auras ticked right now. She needs to take her auras. She's a little bit flustered. There's no auras today. Okay, Illyrica knows at this point that it is her race to win.
Yeah, so now we just need to. She just needs to keep her head clear, and she definitely goes. Like, as you can see here, she took her sweet time, just saying, "Okay, I'm going to defeat all the minions, and then once that is done, we can go in for some damage again." Playing it super safe, super consistent.
And we said, unfortunately, we are still a little bit ahead. I apologize to the chat for that. We are spoiling a little bit, and they've said that the only way for them to catch up is if Havoc refreshes his multi-twitch, but you can get hit with an ad or something like that that will really take you out of the immersion. So let's just here's what I'll do. we will try very, very hard to temper our commentary with maybe more of a delay. So we have Ilerica still fighting Izaro there, the conduit in full effect. So she definitely knows that she has to be a little bit careful. Cooterz is running through the lab, and she's probably banking now that Ilerica makes a big mistake. And has to reset as well. I think that'd be very fun to watch. Another reset. Those two going at it. Incredible. And now we have Declara. We somehow forgot about Declara. She is in phase 1 Izaro. The damage is unfortunately not looking very good. A sweep comes out, takes her to 20. I'm sorry. We have to slow down.
Oh yeah, you're right. But, you're right.
So she's running around and she is looking very closely at these conduits, saying, "Hey, you know, when is the perfect time to take these?" And another thing is, when Izaro hits her, though.
Oh, but she is so close. Like now, she's been running around like this for quite a while. Yeah. Every single conduit is up. Any hit will kill her. Oh, belly! Oh,
my
so
goodness,
close.
No life flask. What's she gonna do here? I think she has to possibly wait for spawns. She has to go around all the way. This is extremely Monka-esque, the embodiment of Monka-esque.
Goes in for some damage. That is so risky.
A bold play by a bold up and coming racer here. What is she gonna do? And
I can't believe she isn't getting hit. This is crazy.
Flame dashes. Are you seeing her flame dash through Izaro? And she flame dashes through Izaro, and now we see that a death is imminent. She's gonna get killed by
Takes it in stride, so a smile on her face.
Yeah, she knows.
She knew she was probably gonna be done so, but it doesn't phase her.
And Cooterz is running around. She has 3 life flasks, so that's totally fine. If she can get the charges, though, you know, when you have 0, it doesn't really matter too much, right? Asuzara, quick update. She is running through Lunaris Temple. Is she going to go for a skill point for Piety? Maybe give herself a little bonus? She is close to level 27, over halfway there. If you look at her XP bar, moving very quickly. She herself is moving very quickly. So, you know, the race isn't over. The race is not over. We've seen some deaths.
I think that if she picks up the extra skill point and gets a little bit more of a power boost, she can still come back. Like we saw Cooterz just dying just before. I think Cooterz might be in trouble again.
You know, those 3 life flasks were up. I think right now what's happening is this. If she's been in lab twice, she definitely knows there's other players in lab. If her chat hasn't told her that. Because of this, you know, you get shocked a little bit in terms of, hey, should I just like YOLO this or should I focus more on defensives? And that can lead to mistakes in flasks, pushing them at the wrong time, pushing too many of them, things like that. So I hope that as she comes into it, I hope she knows at this point. I hate to metagame, right? I hate the whole chat like feeding info and stuff. But I really hope that she knows at this point that it is a race between basically her and Ilerica and Declara now. And I hope people have told her the death counter so she can better temper her strategies.
We are having the last phase Izaro here from Ilerica or Lyrica.
Very low on the health
very
there.
Close.
She has the good life flash. She has 2 of them. She has 2 mana flasks.
And she's no panic clicking here.
No panic clicking. The movement is superb. A slash windup comes out. She moves behind him. She's using that flame dash even to reposition herself. And I don't think anything crazy is going to happen. No traps are in the normal lab, which means you don't have to worry about getting tagged and adding more stress.
Yeah, for sure. And the decoy here, if you're noticing it, making so much work. You see the slashes coming. Like Izaro missing every single time.
Yep, and so she's doing some damage, and we have an easy clap Izaro kill from Ilerica. Look at the relief on her face. She knows she's done it. Congratulations. Let's get some easy claps in the chat here. That was a very PogChamp play. And so with the death penalty, I believe it was 1. So adding a minute, I don't believe Cooterz with her death penalties can catch up. It's safe to say that Ilerica has won this race, and a donation, $15 dues, getting the big sponsorships. You know, Nike is up next, and let's see what Cooterz and Clara have to say about this, because they are both in lab. Clara, maybe she did some preparation, because now she's just entering the normal lab, making sure to put on her auras, and it's going to be second place race between Cooterz versus Clara.
So how many deaths did we have? Could we get an update on how many deaths we have? Cooterz versus Lara right here, just to get like an idea of how far they are.
Yeah, we know that Alarica only had 1 death. We know that Cooterz has had, I believe, 2. No, maybe 1. I'm waiting for Havoc to. Havoc will do the research here, and
so they're 1-1.
I think 1-1. Yeah, that seems about safe. Man, Alarica stepping up to the pro event next week, possibly. Oh my god, Nugi, watch out, my friend. You're gonna get beat by a lady.
I am taking notes already. Taking notes.
I mean, she should be teaching Rays. Seriously, I
think so.
Whew. And the clock right now is at 151. We have the update. Alarica, 1 death. Asuzara, currently 2 deaths. Cooterz, currently 1 death, and Clara with 1 death as well. Currently in the lead, because Clara has reset her trial, or not her trial, her Uber lab. Sorry, not Uber lab, normal lab. Cooterz is a shoo-in, barring anything crazy. Now look at this. Look at the shrine she has.
Oh, I just saw, looking up. Acceleration shrine. Wow.
My goodness. Now, that means that the positioning, avoiding slams, avoiding leaps, all that stuff becomes infinitely easier. She is, she doesn't even need a high IQ to do it. Oh, she does. She does, even with the acceleration, try and take some damage there. So maybe she's adjusting to it, right? This is something new. She's played for the last hour and a half or so with
moving very slow, and now all of a sudden you're moving at twice the speed.
Nugi, what if we see this? What if she's running around Izaro with the speed and she makes a full 360 and gets hit by something? I can see maybe some shenanigans like that happening, which could cost her some time here. But let's hope that she gets used to it. And,
Did you just see Lara? Lara was face tanking Izaro with triple conduits up.
Oh,
Izaro missing, I believe, 6 hits in a row. Not that. It was.
Man, that's some good streamer RNG right there. I mean, look, she doesn't have the evasion. RNG. She doesn't have the helm as an iron hat. She's got goat hide gloves with a little evasion, and then goat hide boots.
Maybe it was just the decoy there.
Jeez. Look at the smile on her face. She knows that she had a what's that called? A Deus Ex Machina come in and save the day for her. Basically, Eagles from Lord of the Rings. No, she should not have survived. She should have not passed go. Do not collect $200 and restart the lab.
I will. I am curious to see whether or not this is going to be a bit of a mistake, maybe going into, because we do have the minion phase where you have to run around a lot, and then if he's triple buffed, anything that hits you is probably going to send you straight back to the entrance.
Absolutely, and I mean, look, we have Cooterz here, getting really comfortable with that speed shrine, even going as far as to avoid the attacks, the basic attacks. Look at that, just no damage coming out onto her character. This is amazing. Flame dashing, even being a little bit rambunctious and flame dashing back into the face of Izaro. That was truly spectacular to watch, and she has passed that phase. Here we go.
This was definitely the cleanest of the 2 kills we've seen on the second phase. She killed off the portals very quickly, so she was never getting overrun and overwhelmed by all the hordes of ants.
This is exciting. I mean, it is very PogChamp to see the acceleration trends. Now, what if we see something else? What if we get a death from Cooterz that would bring Clara and Asuzara back in the race?
Maybe moving a bit too fast.
Trass are spooky today, but it looks like she's okay. We might see with the Dark Shrines, because these people all obviously have PoE lab up. We got a Divine Shrine on one of these characters. We get a couple deaths. We could see the current last place become first place with a little bit of luck.
Oh, and we do have Asuzara into the lab as well.
Oh my goodness, that was unexpected.
Now we have a race.
27, 28 from Cooterz. Sorry, 27 from Asuzara, 28 from Cooterz. And is Declar 26, it looks like?
I do believe she's 26.
She could level up here, though. She has a lot of mobs to kill on her way to final Izaro, so that might help a little bit. Man, I would love to see a Divine Shrine on Asuzara and have her sweep the competition and come in second place. Wouldn't that be something to see?
That would be crazy. I would love to see that. It would be a very close race, though. She would have to catch up with Cooterz with that acceleration shrine.
But as we've seen, maybe a slip up in the feel of the acceleration shrine will lead to an unfortunate death. I believe this is phase 3, right? From Cooterz coming up here.
That is phase 3. She does have double. There is double conduit shrines up there, so she could just one misstep and she could go down.
She's smiling. She knows I have to play this safe. There's no one in the last phase with me. And Izaro's unique item from Declar's first Dark Shrine, it looks like. I didn't see what it was.
Maybe very nice. Oh, so
and a replenishing from Declar as well.
That is very nice. Especially, we saw her struggle a lot with the potions during some of the last fights. So having that regen shrine makes it so that, well, she will always have a way to regen.
Yeah, and then so we have full screen Cooterz now. Last phase. Keeping up the stacks. Dodging the slams. Look at this. Dodging auto attacks. Great play. Just exactly what we saw in the last phase, except we did see her eat some big damages. So it is not out of the question to say that she could maybe get unlucky here. But I think she has learned from her experience last phase. And yeah, going down pretty quickly. Barrage is not
a little bit hard on the mana here, but we're getting very close. She definitely learned from her last fight, not taking the same kind of risk, just walking into the middle while he's like slamming at you. So,
yep. And that acceleration shrine, my goodness, it is near impossible to get hit by any charge up or barrages here. So all we have to be careful of is maybe a little bit easy. And with this damage, and we are going to see an Izaro kill from Cooterz, 1 death. Add that to the timer. I don't know if she stopped her timer there. And that looks to be Declar going very low in the left. We have Skelly Mages build round 2, Nugi, from Declar.
It's the round 2.
Let's see who's the true Duck Duck Goose champion here.
Yeah.
And
who do you think will come out on top here?
Well, let's get a side-by-side of 2 people here, Asuzara now and Declar, as they're both in lab. And those Skelly Mages, my God, causing so much movement. Doesn't even have the Blade Vortex out, really, because she has to worry about those elements coming.
Yes. And also, Izaro doing so much damage. Because he's triple buffed and so many skills.
My goodness.
She has the first portal down, though, so just 2 to go.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, as long as she whittles down the portals, she can eventually, one by one, even if she has to, kill the skeletons, and they will not respawn.
I want to see you doing big circles here, so she keeps them in the middle. It just runs straight through, though. Doesn't care one bit. Like, if you wanna give me or get me, well, here I am.
We have Asuzara, unfortunately, taking a 3rd death, but she's not letting it phase her. She's right back in there with, of course, the girthier AoE on her Blade Vortex as opposed to Declar's. Declar's smile coming out. She's having a lot of fun doing this Duck Duck Goose around, and we saw this from Alerica. Eventually, she will get it as long as she doesn't die. She has a regeneration shrine, so even if she runs out of potions, she can just wait it out. So totally. Oh my God, she is taking
a good dash out there just in time.
If she does die here, Nugi, we will see a very even and a barrage comes out from Izaro. Is she gonna eat it? And she is going to eat a barrage from Izaro. She chooses not to click on resurrect in town. She does now, so she's taking her sweet time. There's not at this point, Nugi, you would say there's no point in looking over your gear. You have your final setup. You just have to get in there and then
just execute.
And just hope not to die. So I think maybe it is getting to them mentally, having to do this over and over, especially if you don't like lab. But this is nice because now we got side by side. We basically have an even race between Asuzara and Declara for third place. She chooses to go out of the lab with a TP.
Okay.
Maybe.
I think she wants to see if she can get some gear updates before going in again, maybe recognizing that her setup was not optimal at the moment.
Yeah, we see her using a transmute on a flask.
Okay, so she wants an additional flask here. It might, I would say that she should probably keep the flask, like the mana flask, as well as she would rather not run into the issue of not having enough mana. So she's trying the 3 flask health flask potion strat here instead of the 2 health, 2 mana. Whether or not she has enough mana regen though to keep the blade vortex rolling, that's to be seen.
Yeah, I mean we did see the other racers
resist as well.
Yeah, we did see the other 2 racers with 2 mana flasks. Resist in something like this when you have the conduits up. I don't think it's reliable to have perfect management of having all the conduits down, right? Maybe they can, sure, but I don't think it's realistic. So if everyone has bad resists, it's going to make for a more exciting race, especially if you see maybe like a 3rd phase death or something. With the damage we've seen coming out from Izaro on these 2 players, it wouldn't be uncalled for. We see Asuzara taking a massive amount of damage from that slash.
She is maintaining
Oh man, I think that health. Look at that light radius, very, very low, and that's when things get scary. The creeping darkness. Asuzara with 2 hands on her head. She says that was a good thing I don't get an XP penalty here because I would be level 26 at this point. But she goes right back at it. She at least remembers to pop her 2 heralds. It looks like she's going for a little bit of extra damage. And she does have the decoy totem still, so we're gonna reset that one. It looks like Asuzara's 4th death. Declara has 2 deaths. Whew, this is gonna be intense.
It's still anyone's race.
Yeah,
we will see whether or not they can find the strategy that will take them through.
Yeah, what do you think they have to do here, Nugi? If you were coaching them, if you were in their ear, let me bend your ear for a moment, Nugi.
Okay. I think that if Asuzara dies again, I think she should definitely think about maybe getting Conk Effect. That would be a good decision, I think, to get even more damage. As if you can kill things faster, well, that's always good. Especially portals are very important to kill fast.
Yeah. It was painful to watch the Duck Duck Goose around the skeleton. That is.
It really is like the thing where they struggle the most, it seems. And then I would say place that decoy down. Just put the decoy down and then watch Izaro trying to hit that.
Face tank coming out here from Declara. Just in Izaro.
She has blind.
She has the blind.
That's why you're seeing this like face tank.
Did you see that Reddit post a few days ago of who would win a spoofy flask versus an immortal emperor? So I mean. That maybe a Stibnite flask on top of that, maybe for the little mobs that come in, or
that could be a little help. I don't think it's necessary. You do hit very fast with blade vortex, so it does actually hit all the ads around you quite quickly and applies that blind.
Looks like Asuzara is taking her time. She has a positive mental attitude, making sure that everything she can do for her character that she will. Death update from Havoc. Asuzara at 4. Declara with 2. So 2-minute penalty could be big, because what if Asuzara pulls off a miracle with this little regroup that she just did in her inventory? I think she had a Chaos Orb. Maybe she got something cool there.
Oh, she did.
If she wins, we will have to add 4 minutes. And now this is, at this point, that is significant.
Well, even with 4 minutes, as we're seeing the minion phase itself is taking way long. Like it's taking up towards 5 minutes. So if any one of them can get say, who is actually in front here? Lara is in front, right? I do believe she's taking down the first one. But
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have an update from Havoc actually. Auto auto flask macro alert, Declar.
Oh, no.
Something easy. I'm just joking about that, by the way. But something to note is that when Declar gets panicked, when she goes below half health from a single set of hits, you see a smashing of the 2, 3, and 4th position. Second, third, and fourth, I meant position flasks. Now, if that happens in Izaro, it's going to be a little bit iffy.
Okay, so if you look at so here we have we do have Asuzara getting quite low, but stabilizing, clicking all the things here. What I really want to see here in the what should they do department, decoy totem, just decoy. Just I want to see more decoy totem out of both of them. How's
Asuzara gonna get that though right now? She has one, right? It looks like Asuzara has one.
She was the first one to get the decoy totem.
Okay.
She had the edge early on with the decoy totem.
So right now it's basically decoy totem versus blind. What if I put this by you, Nugi? What if you take a look at PoE Lab, you see where the first Dark Shrine is, and you start spamming lab deaths until you get a Divine Shrine? How about that? Next level stress. Because if you keep seeing these deaths, right? If you keep seeing death, it's basically like there's not that many effects, are there? If she gets the Divine Shrine, it could be that's just game over, basically.
It is. Though, will that say that let's say that Lara makes it through though, or whoever decides to go for the shrine strat, right? Will that time that they save in the lab, will that be made up?
Well, in the time that it's kind of like, when people try to go for +2 barrage enchant helms. In the meantime, when they're going for that, they're going to get a lot of damage coming on Asuzara, and she has to restart again. Havoc, what is the time? Can you get us in Discord? What is the time limit of this event? She's gonna have to restart. I hope she's rolling up her sleeves, fixing the glasses. Let's go. Full Harry Potter mode. She is going for it. And I think, like I was saying before, in the time that they spend going for the 2 Dark Shrines, they could get a very nice combination. Like, what if she gets the Acceleration Shrine that Cooterz got, and then they get a Regen Shrine? That could be nice. There's other things that could happen here. Now, Declar, it is her race to lose. If she doesn't die here, it will essentially be 3rd place and 4th place, because once she completes it, since Asuzara has more deaths, there's no way that she can win upon Declar completing it.
Exactly. I'm wondering whether or not we have Lara looking for the Dark Shrines here, maybe. Recognizing that she's been struggling so much, doing it on her own, that she might need a little help from the shrines.
I've just been told that I have gained 50 IQ again, because you cannot have more than 1 Dark Shrine buff on your character at one time. So it's not like the shrines in maps. So plus 50 IQ to the chat again.
Well, wasn't your strategy about resetting until you got the Divine Shrine, making you immune?
Yeah, but I was saying, like, in the meantime, if they hit 2, maybe they could get 2 good ones.
I didn't know that okay, yes, that is definitely not.
50 IQ. Very. Chat has gained 1 step on the path to infinite knowledge, and now we have a fight coming up. We have Declar going straight for the portal. As you can see, maybe she.
I want to see her start over the portals. And
her flame dashes are nice right now. Nice flame dashes, because she does not want the massive amount of mobs in the middle of the screen.
I believe she must strategy. Oh, you see, there is a portal down already. Okay, so she's just going in, relying on that blind. Maybe she just wants to have 1 portal down. Ooh, she does need to move.
The blind is a fickle mistress of RNG. You see her dropping so low. Look at her face. Maybe blind wasn't the right choice. Maybe decoy totem is a better choice. When you're staying at this much life with no flash left, there's literally nothing you can do, right? You cannot sit in one place because you're going to get hit by all of these mobs. It's it's a bad
next level play.
This is stressful. This is extremely stressful. And the barrage comes out from Izaro, and we have a reset
with the slowing ground.
Asuzara taking a sip of maybe some sweet tea, it looks like, or maybe that Diet Coke. Maybe they won't be making the trip to Starbucks. Maybe they'll need a little whiskey after this to recoup. It's looking like the death counter.
We have a little bit of instant replay there on Cooterz. I like it.
Ooh. Little streamception here. Cooterz and Illyrica are just probably just watching it out. You know, I'd like to see Illyrica put up the the stream of Havocs as well, so that they can both watch and get the relax. Look at that, just on her phone, texting her BFF Jill, saying, "Look, I got second place in the race. You know, maybe bump me up to semi-pro next week." She's on Twitter. She's taking screenshots of herself of the streamception. Illyrica, she's camera's a little bit laggy. She's now on her phone. Maybe Cooterz and Illyrica are texting each other saying, "Hey, forget these other two. Do you want to go get some pumpkin spice lattes right now? We can make it back in time before the race is over."
Oh, a little bit of BM maybe.
Yeah, BM. That's extremely BM. But if they pick up D-Clara and Asuzara a drink while they're there, I think it'll be totally fine.
I think so, definitely.
So back to the race, we have a lot of spinny blades coming out from Asuzara. She's making her way through these mobs. Ooh, a little discharger action. That could be scary, surrounded, but do enough damage to maybe stun those mobs and in no real danger. D-Clara, same thing, going through the lab, trying not to reset the instance another time. So this will be very, very interesting to see what happens. We have 28.5 minutes on this. That's plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Yep. I want to see if Lara here decides to, maybe this time the blind strategy and the full face tank might not be the right choice. Oh, she is gaining a level here as well, becoming a little bit more powerful. Maybe that can change something.
Ooh, you all right there?
Nah, it's okay. It's just water.
Okay. Yeah, we just need to maintain a positive mental attitude. You know, like right now, they know currently that what is dangerous right now. Well, it's only Izaro. They can make it through all of these side zones perfectly fine. You know, maybe pick up a dark shrine here and there. It's worth it, right? If
I would really like to see them going for some of the dark shrines. Maybe some of the so you know there are there's an item from the lockboxes that will then disable the conduits and the portals. So I would say that those are definitely worth picking up, especially if you're struggling this much.
Definitely. I mean, right now, I do not like, I have to say, this is a personal preference of me. Okay. I do not like the face tanking. That is, it's so spooky. You get unlucky and you are going to insta-die. That is like, I just don't, especially if you face tank, you don't get to hit the conduits in a timely manner too.
Did she get two or did she only, she only got one this time.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see it when she comes up on the next lab. We'll see which one she got activated.
One was disactivated or deactivated. But no, I definitely agree here. The face tanking and just pushing the phase very quickly, I don't think that's the best strategy, especially since every single time she then comes into the second phase with all the portals, well, there's a lot of running around. And if Izaro is then doing double damage, well, that just makes it so much harder.
Yeah, for sure. Asuzara taking a little bit of an inventory check again, making sure her flats are all in line. Okay, that's totally fine. And we have a Dark Strike coming out from D-Clara, and it is the camera's blocking it. What does that say? I can't read. My eyes are too small. Let's see if I can maximize the text here. Did you see what that was?
Grotesque affair?
Be a grotesque affair. Now, usually if the map is up, we can see the text in the top right underneath the mini map.
Let's see if
she's opted not to use the mini map here. Maybe someone in chat can tell us what that is. I don't see any buffs above the character. Oh, it's double key. Someone says double key.
Double key. That is unfortunate.
One of the worst to get. She makes it to the next passage, so that's unlucky. But let's see.
She has the right strategy in mind, but she's not being rewarded. Sometimes PoE just isn't fair.
Yeah, definitely not. You know, sometimes people can play more than you. Sometimes people get lucky with the HUD 100 chancing, you know, and it's not a bad thing. You know, that's a huge part of the game. You keep practicing, you keep playing the game, and the RNG will go your way eventually. Will it go their way under the 2 hour and 30 minute time frame? Well, that is yet to be seen, but it looks like Asuzara's playing a little bit more clean now. You can see pre-avoiding the animations, going to the conduits when they are up. Right now, keeping the flame up. I don't know if she has a ruby ring. Okay,
so she's just trying to push some damage here while she has the decoy totem down. She had a ton of stacks on the blade vortex, so she just want to push, I believe, and then she knows she has the time, right? Before she pushes. Yeah. So just as long as you click all the like you at 33%, right? The first, so it takes 33% of his life, and then after the first 33, goes to the next stage, and so on and so forth. So as long as you don't make her or don't take away a third of his life, you can still make sure to click all the portals or the conduits.
Nugi, do you see a certain buff on your friend Clara here? What do you think about this? How can she maximize this?
Well, by standing next to Izaro and clicking that blade vortex.
That is, thank you, John Madden. That was an interesting commentary. I would agree, but maybe this will get her an easier time of not having to worry about ads, because the ads with this crit shrine makes it to die almost.
Yeah, she doesn't have, like, the thing is though with the diamond shrine, you don't have a lot of crit multiplier spect, so it is a lot of extra damage. It is still what 50% more damage since with that crit multiplier, so definitely a huge help.
I mean, we can definitely see the effect it's having on the portals.
Yeah,
definitely see the effect.
Wow, that is so fast.
Slash. She is standing on the same side as her decoy totem. Very interesting choice there. When I mean, I know you have blind, but maybe just min max and go to the other side. It won't lose that much.
That was a fast and clean kill. I will say though, even with blind, you wanna layer this this strategy of the blind plus the decoy, because if Izaro is blinded, well then he's also having a harder time hitting the decoy, making that tankier.
Double dipping on the strats there, Nugi. I like it. Also, Havoc letting me know that, Herald Device, you get Shatter. That's a nice visual aesthetic, and then also the noise is a nice buff for people watching. So maybe that makes the chat have a more positive mental attitude as well. It's better to spectate. So that's added, like these intangibles, we'll call them, right? Can all add up to make a better race. And she's going through. She's getting stuck a little bit in a corner of the spiky trap phase with darts, but she makes her way quickly around. If she these traps are kind of scary. I hate the spike traps, but she cannot lose that diamond shrine. She cannot lose it. I think she knows right now that the damage is so crazy. It feels so good to have it. She doesn't want to roll the dice again in another lab run. Asuzara coming up on Izaro here. Portals.
So getting that hidden cover. Yeah, let's see. I'm really liking the decoy here. Always putting the decoy up and then moving behind Izaro. A lot better play coming out. So really adapting to all these deaths, like actually learning from every single death. She's taking a little bit of that experience and then adapted to it.
Yeah. I feel like I'm learning too. I mean, with every death comes knowledge, right? You gain IQ when you die. You learn from that, and hopefully you don't die to the same thing on a subsequent run. And look at that. She takes on the portal, no problem, easy.
Portal much better this time.
Eating a little bit of damage, but that's fine because so much running through. Asuzara's damage looks pretty good. It's just that running through the middle of these mobs might not be the best choice here. If you run around the edge, you have a lot more chance of avoiding those projectiles along with Izaro's attacks. But I think she really needs to focus on these portals here as more scaly mages come through.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. And she really needs to start decoying. The one thing that put her in such a good position early on in this fight was the fact that she was using decoy, and
so she doesn't put up the decoy. Looking a little bit disappointed in herself, not electing to go up the stairs towards the trial. I mean, there's still 11 minutes left. 11 minutes is a long time, and in previous races, our little bylaws are that if you're in the phase, okay, you can still finish it even if the time passes between the two players. And now we have an Aspirant's trial coming up from Clara. And thankfully, Asuzara has not quit. She is going back in.
This is the last trial?
This is the last one, I believe, and she has assigned a big skill point. Yeah, this is going to be nice. She knows that she has the crit. No traps here. Nothing too much to worry about. Just me and you, Izaro. Let's go.
Okay, Recasting. Put down the decoy.
Here we go.
No decoy. There it comes. Nice.
There's a decoy. Ooh, okay. A few hits. So even with the blind, it looks like decoy is weathering a few hits. She's choosing to face take it, and The DPS race, it is going to. It is.
That was so quick.
Yeah.
That damage.
She went down to 30% health. I'm pretty sure if she got unlinked with the second blind, it would have been a death and a reset there. Even, oh my god, that was stressful, Nugi. That was stressful.
And the death and losing that diamond shrine would have been terrible. So,
yeah, absolutely. Easy claps all around in the chat. She has finished. She fixes her hair. She can relax now. Doesn't look too happy with her performance, but it's okay. I mean, like I said, this is extremely fun for us to commentate. It's extremely fun for the people to watch. Nothing bad can be said about any of these racers. It has been a completely positive event, both in both in the commentating and viewership. So we have full screen Asuzara now. She is on her hopefully last attempt on this. She's going into the Spinal trial. Can't change too much on her character, and we're gonna see if maybe her chat lets you know. Decoy totem, decoy totem, decoy totem. Put that thing down, get to the other side, and see what you can do.
Like sleeves are rolled up. She did a little neck crack. Like she is prepared now. I think this is gonna be her run.
And you can see it, when that decoy totem is up, look at that. No danger at all. I mean, there's going to be mobs coming out, but if you can remember to put that thing up, it is going to be a good time. But once it comes down, that's when the real damage comes up. That's when you panic flask and things get a little bit iffy. Yeah, she's hitting the conduits and at the same time doing some damages to Izaro. Very nice. Decoy totem going out at the correct position, hitting some more conduits. And a slam is about to come out of nowhere. Actually hits it, but luckily only half HP. The flask
gets a charge right there off the last ad.
Yeah, Flask not coming back as much as she would like, so she has to spend some extra time running around clicking it. Man, that is
She does get on the ad phase.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you
nice.
go. One use of the flask coming out. Let's see if she saves it. Let's say she plays a little bit more defensive and she makes it. With the decoy tone being the MVP, she's going to make it into the next passageway. And very well done. That was stressful, but still
so here she did get 2 conduits. So maybe here she would opt to maybe go for Dark Shrine. Because now the second phase will be quite hard with the double damage or the double damage buffs. Oh, she gets the portal shredder. It's a very nice pickup, and I'm being told they're called trinklets. And trinkets. There is one for both the first and the second phase. So you can disable some of the abilities that the Izaro has. So you can disable either a conduit or a portal permanently. By just hitting it once.
That would be amazing. Havoc has let us know. Monka S moment on the screen there.
That is something that gets where you're running away and it clips you as you're walking away without locking you in place.
That was very scary. I mean, and I have to say, watching Asuzara go through the slap, that hasn't happened much to her before. No real nervous or nerve-wracking moments to the traps. She's been doing great. It's just the Izaro fight that will prove to be interesting to watch. Now, Havoc has let us know, Nugi, do you want to do some interviews? The 3 ladies, besides Asuzara, are all ready to go. We can get them in here, ask them a few questions.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that, Havoc. Maybe we bring in the winner, Ilerica, first. If she's in here.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. There we go. Hey, how are you?
Hi. I'm happy.
Yeah. Did you, I guess first things first, did you know that you were as far ahead as you were for most of the race? Were you taking tips from Twitch chat, anything like that?
No, I had no clue. I had my chat off and Discord. I told him, don't tell me what's going on.
Yeah, we saw you had the no interaction during the race thing up.
So no distractions. I like that. Do you think that helped you, not having any kind of distractions during the race?
Yes, because chat does distract me a lot. So I thought I'm just going to tunnel vision on the race and just do my thing and just finish it. That was my only goal.
Awesome. Yeah, you did fantastic there. Nugi told me that you guys had spoken and you hadn't done that much practice. Can you tell us a little bit about your preparation for this race? I just said the R word. Sorry, for this race. Did you? I'm so sorry about that. Freudian slip. Did you do any kind of preparation in terms of the PoE lab being up? Anything like that?
No, I first started to practice runs as Shadow. It sucked. I went to Witch, thought this might work, did a plan, then I did a race. That was pretty much my practice.
Okay.
I do know that you were looking into a lot of different skill trees. What made you decide?
I don't know. I thought Witch was just the most easiest because I could get the temper nodes and minor would matter. It felt like that would work for Izaro because he was horrible today. I never want to do that again.
Quick update before the next question. Asuzara has is that an acceleration dark shrine?
Acceleration dark shrine. Yes, it is.
It is very nice.
She was there was a little smile there. She has been struggling a little bit, but definitely that was something to put a smile on her face.
That is a boost. Let's see if she takes advantage of it in this next phase. Decoy totems all around. So Lerka, you won, and for most of the race, me and Nugiyen were like, is this Raise Lerica or Ilerica QT? Because it seemed like from what Blasting Cap told us, you didn't have any experience. That is your first race ever. You don't participate in the Gigi sanctioned ones and things like that. So what were your expectations going into this? You knew your competitors several days ahead of time. What did you want to achieve? What did you think you could achieve?
I kind of expected to be lost, and anything better than that would be nice. But I just thought, it's my first race. No one's going to expect me to be good. So I'm just going to go in with it and have fun. That's all I can do.
So you had a positive mental attitude all the way throughout. Were there any things that discouraged you during the race? I saw you had a death possibly early on. Did that affect your mental viewpoint on the race?
For a few seconds, and I thought, oh, whatever. I mean, shit happens. Just keep going.
That was awesome. With this win, would you say that you are more inclined to participate in future races, and has it changed your view on community racing overall?
I think I'll join a few more races. Yes, it was actually very fun. I was so nervous at the start, but it was fun. I'd love to do more races if I have time.
Yeah, also I see that you've been streaming a lot more, so hopefully we can get you back on for these. I mean, Nugiyen, do you have any other questions? That was a fantastic performance.
No, I was really just liking all the prep. Like I definitely saw that you've been taking notes and really listening to a lot of the pro racers out there. So I would say great performance, right? Using the decoy, using the blind, just using everything. Did you use blind? I don't know.
Yes, I used blind.
You did use blind. Yeah, good. I see a lot of a lot of good taxes in there, like pro level taxes. So that was really really nice to see. A good performance.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you for doing it. I think you've generated a lot of excitement for these community races. Just seeing someone who was you were last in the polls for who's going to win, and it just shows that it can we can have some fun outcomes. So thank you for joining us, and yeah, awesome performance.
Thank you for having me. Great stuff, guys.
All right, and we have Asuzara. She's making use of that acceleration, just going all the way through. She has found another trial here. She might be full up on flasks with those extra few kills.
Just making it a little sure that she has everything.
Havoc says that Cooterz is not in the Discord currently, so maybe we can drag in D. Clara and ask her a few questions. Wait, is this the last phase?
This is the last phase.
Let's focus on this a little bit here.
Yes.
Because this is going to be at the wire, 2:29:05 as the fight starts, doing a lot of damage. Acceleration really helping her. She has avoided that. She's going to avoid the Izaro slam. She's going to avoid any barrages that comes out.
Moves out, just making sure here. Don't get overconfident. Yes.
And yep, you can see that when the barrages came out, she moved right out of the way, and she comes in at 2:29:28, something like that, still under the allotted time. So all of our participants have finished. Easy claps all around for her. Look at her. She's so excited, shaking it out. Wow, fantastic. Everyone has completed the race. This is great.
That was great. Even after dying 6 times, and most of them in the lab, just Like rolling up those sleeves and going at it again and again.
Yeah.
Small
Persistence.
adjustments. Yes.
That was awesome. Let's get second place was Cooterz. Is she in here yet? Or I don't think she's in here yet. So maybe get Clara in here.
Duel.
There we go.
Sorry. Oh, hi. Sorry, I was talking with Lyrica.
Hello.
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 I'm doing okay. You know, I expected better of myself, but it's whatever.
You do have a lot of experience now in the races, so it's always fun to watch someone go through from not knowing what they're doing to putting up a very decent showing race after race. So let's see. What are your thoughts? What were you expecting going into this? Did you know that Cooterz and Asuzara and Ilerica had never raced before? Did you? I mean, obviously you talked to Ilerica, like you said earlier.
Yeah, I
So
talked to all the other participants. You know, I wish them luck. I like all of them. They're all awesome people. But I honestly didn't think I had an edge going into this, just because like I used Blade Vortex once, I think, and that was like in Legacy League for a very brief period, and I never touched it again because I got really annoyed with like the constant resummoning of the blades, and I actually never did a full practice run. I got bored after Merveil yesterday, and today I did one up until the Wall of Ruins right before the race started, and so I kind of just winged it for half the time because I didn't have a full practice session at all. But I think that apparently I was doing good for the first part, and then I think I got too ahead of myself, and I was under-leveled for a huge part of it. I saw at one point that I was like 7 levels under-leveled, so I had to go back and do some leveling, and I think I lost out a lot.
I saw you in Sarn at one point, right? That was when you saw it, right? Okay.
Yeah. That's when I realized I was like, Nugi's going to kill me.
One thing I noticed is that earlier, I'm sure Nugi can attest to this as well, early in this race event, for the first 20 minutes maybe, it wasn't even a commentary on most of the other races. It was the White Knight show. We were just talking about, man, Clara has this in the bag. She has experience. She's so far ahead. And like all this experience is really showing through. So what was there anything that was like surprising in this race? Because you've done normal Izaro before. You've leveled characters for it. Like you said, Blade Vortex is a little bit iffy for you. If you could go back again, is there anything you would change in your setup, in your strategies, things like that?
I think I would have killed more mobs while leveling. Also, I had never used blind before. And after dying on my first few Izaro runs, I was like, you know what? I actually had given up a little bit. I was like, he's just going to kill me. I'll just die and I'll go level at docks. And I just stood next to him like a dead potato, and I just let him hit me. I was like, wait, blind's working. Like, I can damage him and I can trust in the blind. And so I kind of had a huge learning moment while racing. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stand here and hit him, and hopefully the blind makes him miss. I wish I did that sooner in the Izaro fights. Just trusted in the blind and hit him, honestly.
Yeah, you were going a lot for the RNG with the blind there. Like sometimes it can just, if it doesn't go your way, it's basically an instant reset of the phase. So yeah, I think we could definitely see that. You know, every time you have to reset the lab, it's really demoralizing. But overall, as a race, would you say that this was like pretty fun? Would you want to participate in similar races in the future? I know you've done a lot already, but how's your viewpoint of racing changed at all, if even?
I think that maybe I need to take a break from racing. It gives me too much anxiety, and I only got like 3 to 4 hours of sleep because I felt like I was punched in the stomach. So maybe not in the near future, maybe sometime, you know, in the far future after, you know, practicing a little bit more, maybe, not to embarrass myself.
Sure. I'm sure you'll be more than welcome. Thank you for providing us with a very entertaining viewpoint to cast, and thanks for participating. And we will see you in the next race, unless Nugi has any final questions.
No, just a good performance. The early game definitely seemed to be your forte, where you're a little bit more comfortable, but pulling through in the end was good to see.
Yeah. Thanks guys for organizing this, and thank you for commentating. It was a pleasure, I guess, to take part of.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank
you
you
so much.
And now we will get Cooterz, second place, excellent performance. Hello, Cooterz.
Hello.
If you can hear us, sometimes you have to like toggle a little bit with your. You have to like refresh the Discord settings. It happened to me earlier.
Know it could also be some admin settings in Discord.
Sorry, I need to restart.
There we go.
My Discord real quick.
Oh, sure. We can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, be right back real quick.
No problem.
Okay.
Well, that's very nice. I mean, I had a lot of fun. What about you, Nugi? That was just, you know what? I have to be honest with you, dude.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You know, we discussed a little bit before. For everyone that's wondering, we discussed a little bit before our stream that some of these are newer streamers, some of them are newer racers. So if you guys didn't know, we toned back the commentary, we toned back the rhetoric a little bit for this race because we want everyone to feel welcome. We want this to be a community event in which it truly is a community where you're excited to join in and participate if you're invited or if you ask Havoc or yourself for a spot there. And so at first I was like, it's an all-female race, like it's full of memes. I'm gonna go complete YOLO,
complete all in,
and it would provide. I'll be farming lols in chat. But thank you for speaking to me before the race and maybe bringing it back down to planet Earth a little bit because it was a little.
No, I know you're a nice guy and people really want to see you commentate, and so I thought, well, it might get a little bit out of hand if we don't like rein Mr. CuteDog in just a little bit.
There you go. Sorry about that.
There we go. Hello, Cooterz. How are you? How are you feeling?
Right, how are you doing?
Yeah, we're doing great. We just had endless entertainment to watch for the past couple hours. Yeah. You got second place at a certain point. I don't know if you know this, but there was a certain point where even though Alerica was so far ahead in levels, in position in the lab, you caught up and you were on the same phase as her at a certain point. Did you have at all any Twitch chat up, or I saw you glancing over on your second monitor or something? Were people feeding you any info, any tidbits on the other streamers, or did you completely shut everything out?
People were updating me. I didn't really care either way. I honestly thought I was going to get fourth, so it didn't really matter. I wanted to val my Tabula before lab, and I forgot, so it was kind of a loss for me. But you know,
what if you had valed your Tabula at the beginning?
I was going to, but it was going to be Nugi's Tabula, and I said I was going to val it because he was going to give it to me, and then he said it already was corrupted. So I thought, well, that's not fun.
A +1 would have been insane, and maybe one of the best starts to a race that I've ever seen. But you did fantastic. I mean, a common sentiment during these interviews is, I feel like I'm going to get last, right? And so, did you keep up to date on any of the other participants? Did you know like anything about the people you were racing? Did you feel confident in your own ability? Tell us about your preparation as well for the race.
Well, I had about a day notice, I believe, so I didn't really practice much. I did practice, I think, a few hours worth. I did actually plan out what character to start as and stuff like that. I didn't know it was a tabular race, so I was practicing without tabulas. So that was, I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I did learn that I can do the race about the same speed, except for I can't kill Izaro with like a 3-link. Mm-hmm. That's pretty tough.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that helped. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, don't ever like discount anything that you did. That was fantastic. You know, the times were great. Now, what about? So you said that Twitch was like kind of feeding you stuff, but you didn't care. Did you know at that point that you were neck and neck with Illyria? Like, there was a point where if she had made a mistake, you would have won the race. So you did fantastic. Did you know anything about that, or did that not affect your gameplay?
I was a bit aware. I mean, I know everyone was in the lab around the same time. I think certain things helped me at the end. I kind of messed. I really wanted to get a Coaling Strike on a range attack totem, but I couldn't get the links. So I don't know. There's a lot of things that would have went either way. I think with everyone, you know, it's like one of those things where you practice a few and everything looks good, and then you go to the real race and you can't get a potion for, you know, like the whole first act, nothing drops. You have to buy them. I feel like there's a lot of variables that can really put someone ahead or behind. So I'm not too surprised about like, you know, those huge swings.
You had one of the or you were the only racer with the shield strategy. What made you decide on that?
I honestly just like to do anything with movement speed. I'm not very good with movement skills. Flame dash is, you know, one that I use a lot. I'm not a big fan of like whirling blades and stuff, so I pretty much try to stack movement speed. I almost went for Crichton instead of Oak at one point because I wanted that movement speed, but I didn't think it was going to help as much.
Yeah, okay. Strategy.
So you were going for Oak. this race?
I did take Oak, yeah. I
Okay, so
was practicing with the Crichton before, but I decided that the HP regen, especially on Izaro, when you're just dodging things, it's nice because I think flask management is one of the hardest things against Izaro at such a low level.
Yeah, we saw some fat fingering across the board sometimes. I mean, you know, it's no big deal, right? You're not, when you're doing maps most of the time, you know, you're used to a certain muscle memory. And so when you come to something like this, where you can't just like smash all your keys, it does become a little bit more difficult. But
definitely.
What about for future events? Give us your views on racing in general, and then maybe does this make you more excited to participate in the future? Are you turned off to it? What can you say about that?
I think racing is great. I think the community racing stuff is really good. Just, you know, for a community standpoint, since GGG kind of went back on the racing and they don't do it as much anymore, which is a letdown, I think, for a lot of people. So I think it's kind of cool to set that up, even if it's not, you know, official or sanctioned. But I like racing. I honestly like the kind of more quirky races like Blamped. I really love Blamped. That's like my favorite race out of all of them. But in terms of like, you know, longer races, I feel like the fatigue for me really sets in, and I don't have that mentality or that brain to really be hyper focused, and because you really have to tell yourself, don't kill this, you know, don't kill this pack, skip this pack or whatever. And once you get that really long kind of an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours into it, you kind of get into that kind of drawl where you're just farming, you know, and you have to kind of keep on reminding yourself, oh, I'm racing.
Yeah,
and that's a big problem for me. So I know with the longer races, for anything over about an hour, I really notice myself just kind of not paying attention and just farming at that point. So it's a little bit tough for me, but I do like races. I think I like commentating on races more, but I do like the racing thing is fun too.
For sure. I mean, like we definitely saw that you only had one death throughout there. So even though you maybe lose a little bit of focus at the end there, it was still a very nice performance.
I think coming from the hardcore background, because, you know, I played hardcore for almost like a full year straight. I think that helps a lot. You kind of learn, you know, how to, like, what skills to dodge, where to stand, and flask, you know, usage and whatnot. I think that really does help. I did actually, when I was practicing, I died in Act 1 so many times with my other characters. So that's a little disheartening. I think it's demoralizing. But it's just one of those things where I think if you don't try not to care as much, that's a big thing, and try not to push too hard, because I think that's another mistake with racing, where people do, you know, progress really quickly, but they get to the point where you're like 7 to 9 levels below a map, and it gets very hard. And I tried to really make sure I didn't get into that position, because that's really bad in my opinion. It's just, you just have to go back and farm, and you kind of lost all that time.
Yeah, there's a lot of strategy there. Before you came in here, we knew we were talking about how we want these community events to be like this fun thing where you don't have to be too try hard, you know? We don't want people to come in here and feel like, hey, like I'm going to embarrass myself, or like I have to prove something against these other racers. And I think like getting this group together was amazing, because we saw 4 different people that were, you know, similar in terms of like preparation and things like that. And it turned out to be amazing to commentate and to watch. So thank you for that.
Definitely. Thank you. Sorry, I was gonna say thank you for inviting me and everything. I did really appreciate that, and the commentary was great. I liked it. It was really, really funny and entertaining.
Yeah, thank you. We hope to have you possibly in the future. And I think with the way this conversation is going, is probably you will be open to invites in the future, right?
Yeah, I think so. I was talking to Nugi too about casting and stuff. That's definitely like my love. Like, you know, not just streaming, but I like casting games. But I mean, racing, like I said, is definitely a good thing. I do want, you know, I've been playing the game for a while, so I feel like it's nice to have, like, you know, newer people and older people just to kind of show different play styles and everything. Because I think, you know, with the act changing and the lab changes, everyone's kind of in a similar playing field, just because, you know, it's kind of a new game, you know, with all the changes all the time, every patch and whatnot.
Yeah. I think you commentating would be fantastic. I don't know if you remember this, but back when I like first started streaming, I went into your channel and I asked you about your mic setup, because it has a very nice sound to it. So I think it'd be very clean commentary as well. So we hope to maybe have you on that in the future. So thank you so much for joining. Unless Nugi has anything else to ask.
No, it was again great, especially with all these different racers, and just as you were saying, it's great to see not really how people struggle, but how when they struggle they overcome diversity. And even with a death, you did great. So that was awesome.
Yeah, I definitely tried to keep that PMA, and honestly is just I was kind of mad. I want to be honest. I was frustrated. I almost died 2 or 3 times after, but I almost died actually in Act 2 against Val. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I almost died. It was about half a second.
I thought you were just showing that you had
calculated. Oh, totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that, and we hope to see you in the future again. Thanks for stopping by and giving us this interview, and thanks for participating and everything. Hope you had fun.
You guys, thank you so much for the invite. I do really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Awesome. Let's see if Havoc can drag in Asuzara.
Oh, hi.
Hello, Asuzara. How are you feeling?
Good now. I was struggling a little bit at the end, dying to Izaro multiple times. Feels bad.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, but
we saw you take like a breather in between some of the last few deaths just to like compose yourself. You went back in with less delay, and you did it. You did it under the time limit. I don't know if you knew it was 2 hours 30 minutes is the maximum time. And so there's nothing to be ashamed of there. The question we always start most people on is like, did you know the other streamers that are participating? Did you know their skill levels? And then what did you do to prepare?
So my preparation was that yesterday when I was streaming, Nugiyen came into my chat and he was like, oh, would you like to race tomorrow? And I was like, I just came back from holidays. I'm not prepared. I don't know what to do. But yeah, I can participate, of course.
This morning, I was watching both you and Ray's QT stream. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like, how much do you think Mr. Ray's QT, the racing god, how much did his support and advice help you or not help you with the Scion choice?
Well, I just want to answer the question from before. If I know the other streamers, like not letting this be somewhere in somewhere. Yeah, of course I know the other streamers. It's really cool girls, really nice girls. I'm in contact with everyone, and especially Lyrica. I got in contact recently a little bit more. Also, I got to speak with Lara today. Pretty nice. Cooterz I know for long already. So yeah, pretty cool girls. Just wanted to say that. And now to the racing god, Mr. Rice QT. Yeah, he helped me a lot. I would say without his help, I would have not did the 2 hours 30 today, because I'm not a racer at all. It was everything new for me, really. Like the racing is new for me. The skill is new for me. I never played Blade Vortex before. I just played Cyan once so far, and yeah, he helped me so much. So I thank you very much, right? Because without your help, I wouldn't have done that for sure.
I think Ray's is a father figure to so many of us, you know, with his charisma, racing ability, PoE ability. So you got pretty lucky there. I'm kind of jealous that you got the one-on-one lessons there. And then, so going into lab, you were a little bit behind in terms of levels and the zones that you were in. Was Twitch chat feeding you any information on the other racers? Were you feeling at all discouraged at any time? Like, let's not count the deaths. Let's just count like the leveling process and figuring out the challenges that came up. Were you at all like, how'd you feel during the whole thing, I guess?
I felt pretty good and pretty confident most of the time. Also, when people told me that I'm like the last, but everything's still open, I just have to hurry a little bit more. I still was fine. I was just doing my thing, and I just concentrated on being fast and not picking up too much stuff and trying to kill backs. So trying to keep everything in mind. I learned today morning. And yeah, no, it wasn't discouraging at all. The only thing that discouraged me later on was like dying to Izaro so many times when I didn't do that on the practice runs before. Because this was a bit sucky, but that's it.
A big sucky. Okay. That I would say, like I said, it was a amazing performance at the end. You beat the timer, you killed Izaro, more than a lot of other people can say. And would you say that this has gotten you a little bit more excited for racing in the future? Like, do you want to improve on it? Do you want to race in these events again, or would you say that racing is not really your cup of tea? Because I know you love to do like maps and hardcore and stuff like that, and do new builds and stuff.
People that know me a little bit know that I'm a highly competitive person. So whenever I start doing something like this, I'm going in for the win, to be honest. So I really want to be good. I want to show my best. I want to get better and better. And yeah, I'm in for racing now for sure. And I would like to participate again next weekend when there are more like of these events. So I'm gonna practice, and I promise you guys to do my best.
Yeah.
No, you were doing really good though. You had a good strategy. Definitely, you definitely see that the advice that Rise had been giving you was
you know it for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, amazing. Well, I mean, yes, thank you for providing us with that entertainment, and we hope to see you again in the future. Hope to see some more kitty playtime in the future.
Of course.
You went 2.5 hours without any kitty playtime.
True.
It's
about
my favorite
time,
parts about the stream. So yeah, thank you again, and we will see you soon enough.
Yeah, thank you very much for talking. It was really nice.
Yeah. All right, Nugi, maybe we should do our closing thoughts, and then we'll hand it over to Havoc for the outro music. What do you think? Anything stand out to you in this race? Anything you want to see changed in the future in the format? Anything like that?
No, I think so. Going into this race, I know everyone had such a short time to practice, and that actually made it a little bit more exciting, I think. Mm-hmm. Because it really put players into a position where it's a little uncomfortable. It's a little bit out of their comfort zone. You don't get to prepare. You kind of just have to go with it. And I don't know, it really gave you right. And then having that, and then seeing how everyone, even with deaths and kind of struggling, they all pulled together. Nobody was super frustrated. It seemed like everyone was they're really just in it to like give it a real go, regardless. That was really nice to see.
I agree with that. I agree. With no preparation, sometimes you expect a huge gap between first and last place, and that's never fun to watch, right? Like when we saw Lyrica, it was exciting because we know, Lyrica's a newer streamer. She's blasting told us that she had never raced before. We're like, okay, so she comes out of nowhere, and that's awesome. You really like to see that kind of stuff. And then the gap closes so fast between Cooterz and her that you're like, okay, like where did it? And it's so, for me as someone who doesn't know the macro events of racing, it's so cool to be like, how did that happen? What were the events that led up to this that actually makes it a close race? And I like that this race we got variety in the people. So it's not just we have 3 new faces to these community events. So I'd like to see that a little bit more.
Definitely. This week I've really been trying to get as many people as a diverse field as possible participating. It was that was also the reason why this was so short notice, because the only people available, and this is something I want to stress out here, you should be joining if you are interested. If you can set up a stream of a decent quality, right? We kind of have to insist on the consistency of the stream. Like it can't be dropping, and right, we have to have like a stream to be able to be run while you do the race. But if you have that, right, come on the Discord, talk to us, say that you want to participate and sign up. We do have some tools coming in where signups will be easier. But to my point is that I only had I think 3 or 4 people to choose from, which were all of them were already participating in other events this weekend. But then I saw that Lara was in there, ready to go, and I just thought, well, okay, let's maybe try and get some of the girl streamers together, because I know they all talk together and they're all like super friendly. So I just asked around, and they're all ready to do a race. So that was great.
I'd like to add to that, actually. Like, I know that you and Havoc do the administrative stuff, right? So you guys are essentially the board of this community focused racing thing. So I get a lot of people asking in my whispers, my Twitch messages, hey, like, how do I participate? I have a stream, or I stream every day, and I have a face cam and stuff like that. I'd love to participate. And I always tell them, you know, yeah, just join the Discord or ask Nugi and Havoc. So it's great if there's anyone out there that you can get a quality stream. Don't ever feel shy, you know, that to whisper one of us and to ask to join, because as you can see, variety, it pays off in terms of having a more entertaining race sometimes, and gives us more to commentate on. It gives us different kinds of commentary to do. So thank you guys, everyone who reaches out to us and asks to participate. We look forward to having a lot more people race in the future.
And don't feel too bad if you don't get your shot right now. In the future, we hope to be able to facilitate more people in better ways. There are restrictions right now, so if you're not getting your shot now, it'll come eventually. Yeah.
With that, I think that's about it. It was so fun. Thank you for helping me out with the technical stuff, Nugi. I gained some knowledge today watching all this and listening to this. It was very fun as always.
And thank you for providing me with so much entertainment. I was a little bit tired today. It's been a lot of hours in preparation as well this week, as Havoc has been having a lot to see too this week. But in the past weeks, Havoc has been putting in so much work. So I was happy to be the one this week for once, putting in some time.
Yeah, awesome. Well, until next time, and thank you, Havoc, for all the hard work that goes on behind the scenes in OBS.
Yes.
Thank you, CuteDog and Nugi. No problemo. I hope you guys had a really fun time casting. I had a blast listening. You guys are hilarious.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anyways, guys, we will be ending the stream today, right now. The next event is actually a special event. It is tomorrow. It is our very first Act 10 Katavako. It will be an alt start, so it won't be a super long race. So a lot of pro players in that race. Rise QT, Freak, Fightguard, Dead and Doom. Commentating will be the Danish Dynamite, Nugiyen, and Lifting. So it's going to be exciting. So definitely stay tuned for that tomorrow. There might be some unofficial race content after we end the stream here. I'm not too sure on that, but we can talk about it after the race. Thanks again, CuteDog and Nugi, and we'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Woohoo.